इस वाले करंट ड्रॉप पे यहाँ पे क्रोजा विद AR सप्रेसर एंड धीरे धीरे फ्रॉस्ट अभी कहाँ पे वो उसके टीम एलिमिनेटेड 30th में नाउ ही इज ऑन 6
ही इज MVP ट्रस्ट मी ये क्योंकि एंड ऑफ द डे आपके पास स्किल्स हैं डजंट मैटर अगर आप फिर भी टॉप 2 टॉप 3 में आते हैं यू विल बी हैंडेड ओवर ऑलमोस्ट 19 पॉइंट्स एंड व्हिच इज मोर देन इनफ वही आपको देखना पड़ेगा 6 टीम 15 प्लेयर ये जंग अभी भी ऑन है INS वन ऑफ द फेवरेट टीम one of the finest players they have caused cartoons है उनके पास highest player Smokey one of the greatest player of all time Magic एक नई टैलेंट है Burns का एग्रेशन संभालना मुश्किल हो जाता है ये टीम अभी भी काफी स्ट्रांग लग रही है एंड इस टीम को रोकना अभी के लिए बहुत मुश्किल है
हाईएस्ट स्किल्स यहाँ पे टीम सोल के हैं लाइक they've got 9 kills
अगर ये चिकन डिनर आता है मुझे लग रहा है ये जो हमारा लास्ट PUBG टूर्नामेंट था उसका रिपीट हो रहा है फिर से
एग्जैक्टली यहाँ पे LEFP एनकोर को यहाँ पे पूरा फिनिश कर रहा है मजिक का ग्रेनेड था वो बेसिकली मजिक ने पीछे से ग्रेनेड फेंका था और यहाँ पे टाइगर्स का पूरा स्क्वाड यहाँ पे स्पॉटेड है सेम जगह पे एंड बर्न्स यहाँ पे स्प्रे ट्रांसफर कर रहे हैं विद दैट डीपी एंड यहाँ पे सामने से आ रहे भी टेम्पेस्ट यहाँ पे ओपन फायर कर रहे हैं बर्न्स यहाँ पे
अच्छा बचना पड़ेगा बर्न्स को बचना पड़ेगा बिकॉज़ ये एक काफी सोची समझी रणनीति हो सकती है आप आखिरी सर्कल तक कुछ भी करके चारों प्लेयर पहुंचते हैं आपके जीतने के चांस बढ़ेंगे अभी कोई किल नहीं देनी अभी ये मौका है चौका मारने का छक्का मारने का 1-2 रन से काम नहीं चलेगा इस वक्त आएगा टाइम आएगा धीरे धीरे आएगा अपना टाइम आएगा सबका टाइम आएगा बस सिचुएशन से कह बट बर्न्स यहाँ पे पिक ऑफ हो गया स्काई ने यहाँ पर आराम से पिक ऑफ किया बट इतनी देर में सोल ओवेस
RIP स्काई
टेम्पेस्ट स्नीकी ब्रो गेट इन द सर्कल नहीं है हमारे
यहाँ पे जोन में आ गया एंड यहाँ पे
सोचो फ्रॉस्ट का अगर फ्रॉस्ट को
Tigers coming in, Soul under pressure, but Oace and Ronak are there. They have pressure. It's 2 versus 2, but atop the hill, we have the lone ranger from the Brawlers.
5 players left alive. 5 players, and there's one guy floating around, not taking any fights. That is Mr. That's from Brawlers. Frost. And he's been playing this perfectly so far.
He's staying out of it. Don't fight, just win. That's all you need to do. At this stage, everybody's got huge numbers of points on, but at the moment, Soul, they have so many frags. I'd love to see how many exactly they have, because it's got to be a huge number by now.
I believe, for sure. Here we go, the Tiger Sire. He wants to get that kill. Is he going to be pushing in? He's edging around. Circle shrinking, making life rough for everyone here. Is he going to be going for this? Is the question. They're both just waiting for someone to make a move. Who's going to blink first?
This next circle is very, very kind to Frost as well. They're going to have to go up the hill.
There we go. The crowd's chanting for Ronak. What's he gonna do? Though he's sneaking up in the smoke. Can he edge away? Can he make his way around Tiger's field of vision is the question. But Siam, he has his crosshair trained in a way. He's ensuring no one escapes here without taking any damage.
The thing here for Soul is they're getting pushed. They're not getting pushed by the circle. The Tigers are. Frost is still in the mix. He's just atop the hill. He doesn't need to go for the fight. This is super smart. The Tigers, they're getting pressured by the blue. They know that they have to breach the ridge, and when they do, Soul can strike.
Look at Prince's positioning. He has the right angle. The second Soul steps up, stands up to take a fight. They're going to get taken down. And Frost, look at the circle on him. He's got the perfect position. He just doesn't need to show himself. And Frost could pretty much win this all by his lonesome. He doesn't have to participate in this fight. Soul and Tigers could take care of each other for him.
Third party, he comes up, he pops up, Frost goes for the knock, takes Siam down, no, it's just Prince, but he's in the blue, he's taking damage, Frost, you need to move forwards, hit the deck, he's right there, oh no, look out, look out, the ball is headed down, it's the fray, it's the fight, Prince is laid down, it's 1 versus 1, Ronak trying to take the fight with Prince, Prince pops up, Ronak goes for the spray, and the Tigers take it home!
Would you believe it? Tigers, amongst everyone else, they managed to clutch it out. Well played by Frost to come in third there, but my word, Tigers, what a well-played game.
That is incredible. They lost so many players early on and Frost bided his time, but at the moment, Seoul, they went huge numbers of kills, a second place finish as well. I would not be surprised if they came top overall.
Insidious though, they had such good positioning initially. They had all the 4 players live, unfortunately getting flanked. And Indian Tigers, man, I gotta give credit to these guys. They were taking those fights, they were not cowed down with the big names they're facing up against. What a performance from them, and what a start. Although, that being said, like you mentioned, Team Seoul, how many kills did they have at the end of the game?
I think we'll find out in just a moment if we get a look at the scoreboard towards the end there. But if you're Indian Tigers right now, this is how you wanted to start the tournament. Get into that final circle, make it happen. It was not up to them, and the key factor there, Frost. Frost popped up, shot one of the players down, and kicked off. He was the igniting spark that lit the match on the final fight.
And one thing I need to bring your attention back to, Frost almost got eliminated as the first kill of the game. Ronak downs him right off the get-go by himself, and he stays alive to the very end, getting them third place, realizing the placement points are so damn important. But as you guys mentioned, the Tigers coming up big, not afraid to fight. What a well-done job by them.
Some people would probably ask, did Frost really need to go for that fight at the end? Did he need to stand up and take that shot? But then again, in the heat of the moment, when everything's on the line, you see that guy's like, okay, I can win this on my own. Sometimes adrenaline just takes on over. You can't blame him for going for that fight.
No, not at all.
It still amazes me to see him almost be dropped out in the beginning. And the fact that they picked him back up, he got Brawlers on the map. Dropping out at potentially at the 16th place, we don't know what would happen if he did die early on, but getting 0 points, getting that goose egg off the bat, and now guaranteeing the points they did get. Phenomenal job by him. One team I do want to talk about, though, we didn't really get to see much of, was Org. Because throughout the zones, up to like zone, I think it was 5, yeah, zone 5, they had the circle the entire time. And they had, I think, no kills for the most part. And then they're forced to transition from zone 5 to zone 6, going through a ton of enemy teams where they netted themselves almost absolutely.
We're not afraid of the big names we're facing off against. If you kind of look at the way it's kind of laid out here, of course, Tigers being number 1 here, I think it's a pretty big surprise, all things considered. But then Team Seoul and, of course, Brawlers should be feeling pretty happy. Insidious, on the other hand, they got to be a little gutted here.
Yeah. Evil Big Fellas, I was surprised to see them go down so early. Of course, Spike with the unfortunate tumble down the cliffside. Not going to be able to get too much done. Coming soon, previously known as, of course, Entity Gaming now, coming out in 12th. Of course, first game of the day. Just getting on board, starting to warm up into the atmosphere that you heard the crowd during that game. They were incredible, just shouting, screaming for their support.
I personally feel when we go into Sandhawk, things are going to get insane. Because looking at Wrangle, I thought it would be a little bit more of a passive approach, but it was so very aggressive from everyone.
And one thing I want to point out really quick, as you can see on the standings, Brawlers, 2 kills. But overall, now they're third place. That shows how important placement is and shows why Frost lasting that long was so impactful for that team.
Yeah, when you get towards the end there, it's going to be so important. On your screens now, Ronak, player for Seoul, 7 kills.
1,000 damage.
Huge chunk from the rest of this team as well.
Yeah, one thing I just want to point out to Team Seoul is even though the star player, some people would say, kind of died very early on, they still continue to hold their area. They were able to win those fights all the time. Even at the very end, it never looked like they were out of contention at any point in time, right? So they are definitely deserving favorites, one might say, for this tournament.
For sure, they have got the chops to do it. You can see why out of 11,000 teams, these are the top 16. The quality of play going on here, really good. I really enjoyed seeing how they adapted to the terrain, how they moved through it, and how they used those smokes, how they used that pressure. I'm looking forward to seeing more.
And seeing the hillside as well at the end, kind of like a perfect balance between the 2 final teams with Frost obviously overlooking the entirety of that fight. But was there any team, any player, and I want to put you guys on the spot, that really stood out to you over the course of that match that you maybe didn't expect to have that quite of a game?
I say Team India. They were playing the way we kind of expected them to play, but at the same time, we were like, you know, when all the pressure's on, are they going to play as aggressively as it played online in the qualifiers and whatnot? And they just came out banging. Yes, they didn't get the best placements. Like, you know, Indian Tigers are obviously the biggest surprise here, but they were hyper aggressive and always keeping the more favored teams like Hydra and everyone on their toes. And that's what we want to see coming out from more of the other teams who are the underdogs here. Like Indian Tigers, they were taking the fight. They were making things very uncomfortable for the favorites. Will the other teams kind of replicate that? Remains to be seen.
Okay,
I would have to go with, to be fair, in the semi-finals and in the group stages, we didn't really see Team Soul perform to the level they have just now. I want to see them roll it on, and I think the crowd does too.
All right, well, thank you guys for that amazing first game cast, as well as thank you to the players for an amazing first match as well. We do unfortunately have to head to a short break, but when we come back, round 2 is kicking off.
Hello everyone, my name is Sayam Agwane. My in-game name is IT Sayam. I play for team Indian Tigers and I am from Mumbai.
मेरा नाम मीत ब्रह्मभट्ट है. मेरा इन गेम नेम है IT प्रिंस. मैं इंडियन टाइगर्स से खेलता हूँ और मैं गुजरात में हिम्मतनगर से हूँ.
मेरा नाम है गोपाल शारदा. मेरा इन गेम नेम है IT कैरी और कैरी मिनाटी से मेरा कुछ लेना देना नहीं है. आई एम प्लेइंग फ्रॉम टीम IT एंड आई एम फ्रॉम सूरत, गुजरात.
मेरा नाम है हरमनदीप सिंह एंड मैं इंडियन टाइगर्स से खेलता हूँ एंड मेरा इन गेम नेम है IT मावी एंड मैं पंजाब से हूँ.
जब जोन प्रिडिक्शन या जोन मूवमेंट का टाइम आता है तो हमारा ये होता है, मेरा डिसीजन ये होता है कि मेरे को ये जोन पे ये लोकेशन चाहिए, पर उस लोकेशन तक पहुँचाने का जो रूट होता है विथ लाइक वॉकिंग में होगा तो वॉकिंग में या कार से होगा तो कार में, बट जो भी होगा आगे जाके स्काउटिंग ये करता है. तो ही इज़ वन ऑफ द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट प्लेयर ऑफ द टीम. इसका डाउन होना मतलब वी आर ऑलमोस्ट 50% ऑफ द स्ट्रेंथ नाउ.
हम सब कहीं भी पुश करेंगे. जोन होगा जहाँ पे सेंटर होगा हम सेंटर ही लेंगे. जहाँ पे घर होगा वो घर ही लेंगे. जहाँ पे बंदा हो या ना हो, बंदे हो या ना हो, हम घुसेंगे वहाँ पे और वो घर हमारा.
हम बहुत एग्रेसिव टीम में माने जा रहे हैं अभी टॉप 16 में, और मेरे ख्याल से वो हमारा स्ट्रेंथ हो सकता है क्योंकि एग्रेसिव गेम प्ले ही हमारा ट्रू गेम प्ले होता है. उसमें से हमारे जो भी चारों प्लेयर हम लोग हैं और जो एग्रेसिवनेस होता है वही हमको स्ट्रेंथ देता है कि लाइक वी हैव द कॉन्फिडेंस कि हम सामने कोई भी टीम आ जाए, इंडिया की कोई भी टॉप 16 टीम में से कोई भी हो, हम उनको घुस के अंदर मार सकते हैं. पैनिक नहीं हो पाते.
The best word to define carriage driving is suicide. If you are gonna sit with him, you are dead.
बहुत ही घटिया वाहियात है, बहुत ही वाहियात है.
एक्सप्लेनेशन इसकी कुछ नहीं है. आई गेस टीम फाइट्स लेना आसान पड़ता है पर मेरे को ऐसा लगता है गाड़ी चलाना हार्ड है.
नो कमेंट्स फॉर एनीवन.
So he did 1v4 clutch with the gods with a mini. So that's a single tap weapon. So I mostly call him single tap god. For example, M4 is equal to Mini 14 for Prince only.
एंटिटी वो भी अच्छी स्क्वाड है, वो भी हमें टक्कर दे सकती है क्योंकि उनमें भी प्लेयर जो है ना ये ले जाओ और ये लोग ये भी बहुत सही प्लेयर्स हैं। ले जाओ, एग्जिस्टेंस, आशिक, वाइट, ये सारे अच्छे प्लेयर।
इन गेम रोल मॉडल इज मावी ओनली। मतलब अगर मावी नहीं होता तो आईटी यहाँ नहीं होती, गारंटेड।
जितने भी मैंने कस्टम्स गेम्स इंडिया में हो रहे थे या प्रैक्टिस मैचेस जो भी थे एरेंगल्स के, सब में मैंने देखा था तो एक पर्टिकुलर क्राउड एक चीज़ ये बोल रहा था कि लाइक कंटेनर्स, जॉर्जो पुल का जो कंटेनर्स है वो इस टीम का घर है। तो वो घर था, अब नहीं है क्योंकि आईटी का वो घर है। जॉर्जो पुल कंटेनर्स इज़ द न्यू हाउस ऑफ आईटी। और जो भी टीम यहाँ आएगी ना बचेगी नहीं, क्योंकि यहाँ का चप्पा चप्पा हमको मारेगा।
Welcome back, everyone, to the PUBG Mobile Club Open Indian Finals here live from Delhi. I'm Jason Kaplan once again, joined by a new face here on the desk. Alex, how are you doing today? We haven't gotten to talk to you.
Doing very well, better than the last time we spoke. I think the last time we spoke...
You couldn't speak was the last time.
Yeah, I couldn't speak, tonsillitis. Hopefully this time it goes a little bit better than Jason.
It's a little bit taller than Bled we did here have on the desk. He doesn't need a box to be here to see over the desk, luckily for us. But John, what an amazing game one we did have there.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. I mean, we knew we weren't going to see too much action until phase 5, but after that, there was still just like tenuous strands of all this fighting going on.
It's interesting, you know, one of the things I noted early was the fact that 60 players still alive by the third phase. You know, typically on these maps, the more open maps, whatever, Wrangle, the most popular ones, where the meta's already formed, you see aggression early. Teams already know where they're going to be dropping and landing, etc., and the formula is pretty much set out. Instead, teams playing so passive, reasons maybe because of what's on the line, the land pressure, the nerves, but yeah, definitely questions being answered here already.
I mean, teams came out fine and seeing Ronak in the beginning, try to down Frost. If he was able to convert, I'm really still curious, if he was able to convert that into a kill, what would have happened to Brawlers? Would they have potentially been knocked out in last place? Would they have netted themselves 0 points? Obviously, hindsight can always be 20/20, but let's actually take a look at the results from that first match to kind of break down where things do lay. And obviously, before we get into our later matches, we're going to be taking a look at the results overall within the standings. But you can see there, the Indian Tigers coming out swinging 43 points. That is a statement.
It is indeed. I think for me, the real team that stands out is Rip Official. Coming into the semi-finals, they finished 15th, 13th as well in the group stages, but to have such a strong first map on LAN looks so good and so promising going forward, John.
Yeah, 17 points is a very, very good start. We're looking for the top teams to be scoring around that 23-point average. That's what you're sort of looking at in terms of those top 3 spots. So, you know, those top 3, you can see 21, 38, 40, 49, I think it was.
Yeah,
Huge
exactly.
numbers obviously coming out on the top end of that. But if you want to be playing with the big boys, you need to be hitting around those 20 marks.
Speaking of the big boys, Soul and Tigers making up 1/3 of all kills in that game. I think 25 kills aggregately together between the two of them.
29.
Yeah, 29. Oh, quick maths, mate. There you go. But yeah, really strong performance from them, showing that the nerves haven't hit them just yet.
And then Insidious, the team that we talked about being like the consistency kings, are in 6th place. Now, I mean, they obviously can have some outliers, but hopefully for their sake, consistency at number 6 is not going to be the result for them.
Especially first game of the day, first game of the tournament, it's going to be all right.
I think for consistency, one of the reasons we can see that from Insidious is the way they play. They have that balance between rotations and kills. Semi-finals, Cartoons, 40 kills, the most that we saw in the semi-finals. Then you add that with the most placement points as well, 237, Jason. Goes to show they have the balance of skill and the foundations of play.
Well, let's now go into Vikendi here. John, before we do fully hop into this game, what do we expect to see maybe differently from what we just had in match 1?
Time and time again, we talked about it. Vikendi compound play favors the Indian style, or what was the Indian style. We saw a lot of terrain-based play there and played very, very well. So hopefully they'll be able to adapt. They'll be able to use that to advantage. We're looking at people getting shifted their circles on, and they should be able to hold them pretty well.
I think a team that's really going to be strong on Vikendi will be Brawlers. They play that compound fashion. On a map like this, they're going to be looking strong.
We'll see what they're going for. The first drop over onto Vikendi. It's a northerly plain, so it's going to cut off areas down towards the south, like Winery, like Milnar.
Payne, how is he in a vehicle already?
How's he done that?
How has he done that, John? I'm so confused. He's made his way all towards the southern side of the map. Either way, the plane is going from east to west towards, as you said, the northern side. Maybe teams dropping off towards the Cosmodrome or the coal mine. But that does kind of rule out Kantra, Winery, Abbey towards the south.
A team that Jason was saying we didn't see too much of. Orb really does like to drop Cosmodrome. That's their normal place to go. You could see they're not going to deviate from that. I'm looking at Tigers over on the northeast as well. They're going to be dropping out early, so they're going to get that loot on, see what they can do. Seoul as well. They're going to be pretty central here.
So, John, with a plain direction like this, from northeast towards west, which sort of areas and vicinity of the map are going to be the hotspots, do you reckon?
You're really looking at just north of the castle is really going to be contested here because it's a key rotation area for wherever the circle lands. We're really looking for this next circle in order to decide who is going to be in charge of these rotations, who's going to be the kings of the castle, as it were.
Already, first players and first team on our screen. Learn from the past. 6th in the group stages and finished 11th in the semis. Snacks, the first player we saw actually getting a combined 9 kills in the group and semi-finals, so he really has to step up here.
First circle pop is going to be on the southeast already. Some early compound spiking going on. They're just going to claim their areas and try and, let people know what's going on.
Speaking of spike, can't have a same performance as he did on the last one with the car drifting off the edge there. Managed to survive, towards the top 10 at the end. But either way, definitely showing that the land jitter's getting to him. So, as you said, southeastern circle, Castle, Vona, Kantra are going to be hot spots here moving forward. In terms of teams as well, we've got Team India, Evil, Hydra as well there, close towards Peshkova, all in the same vicinity. That could be a hot spot moving forward.
Of course, Seoul and Tiger, the Indian Tigers, they're on pretty different sides of the map at this stage. Seoul might opt to go a little bit further south. The next circle is most likely going to center around Castle, come a little bit further inland, but we could see another dramatic water shift.
Dark from Team Brawlers on your screens now. As we said, this is a map for Kendi, which should really be playing into favor of this team's play style. Not the most kills, but in terms of the foundations of play, the rotations are strong with this team. And a map like this where compounds are important, getting into good rotational positions, getting compounds, get up, get set up, and ready for the circle to slowly concede, they should be doing very well here.
Well, at the moment, 8-bit very, very close to the Brawlers on that northwestern side of the circle currently, and Seoul actually rotating towards them to just get a little bit of info as well. We'll see if Seoul are going to be punished for it, but at the moment, learn from past, they're rotating around the south towards Volnova.
Still, no teams dying, or no players dying yet. Still 64 alive, 16 teams.
It's early
days. It's early days, but the pace has been slow so far, John. What do you reckon that is? The map, or maybe just the fact that the circle's landed in such a large space of the map?
It's just kind of normal for these early stages. You're only getting 1 point per pickup. Nice little, speaking of pickups, a nice one for Swag. Two first aid kits there. Going to be able to get those on board. You're looking to really carry around 3 as a minimum first aid kits, because that's going to give you the power to sustain a little bit more of a fight and potentially drop one over to your chummy if he's a little bit low on the meds himself.
Taking a glance now at the minimap, you can see towards the northwest, Entity Gaming, Megastars, and towards the northeast, Orb, Tigers. Obviously, Tigers had such a strong performance in the last one. Currently, after the first game has been done, they are number 1 in the standings. Obviously, it's early days, 11 more games to go, John.
Yeah.
But yeah, so far, they need to rotate south through Peshkova. Here's some shots going off. I'm not sure if we've seen action so far. Most of the teams at the moment have found their facilities.
No, that was just over to the west, over towards Dobromesto. We're hearing the sound, of course, from Ashik on coming through, but we are going to swap on over
Mortal.
Hey, it's Mortal! No surprise there as well. The crowd goes wild for it.
And the man driving as well. Ronak, MVP in the last map. Obviously, Seoul coming second. They had such a high amount of kills. Maybe they can try and replicate that here again. But they are the crowd favourites. Mortal, Seoul, and there's a lot of pressure riding on them coming into this tournament.
Well, they managed to deal with it last time around. 16 kills and a second place finish. That's got to be pretty tasty indeed. Learn from pass. Oh, encore. Oh, dear. He's dropped down the side. He's taken a lot of full damage. Has to get back to cover. Not too happy with that one, Pally.
Has got a painkiller, though, so can maybe get above that 75 HP. Evil big fellas had a pretty bad start.
Yeah.
Maybe they could try to rectify that here.
Well, this is the time to do it. They've got a really decent spot here, very close to learn from pass, as we saw Encore tumbling down the hill, but they're right slap bang in the middle of the circle, which means they're more than likely just going to be right in the next one as well, and potentially the next few.
Yeah, learn from pass as well. Currently have control over towards Volnova in the center of that southeastern circle. So in terms of positioning, John, they're looking very good. What other parts of the map do you reckon would be of use to have right now?
I think, well, the main feature of this map is the central river. Around Castle, a huge, huge lake, and so crossing that open terrain, going through that water is very, very difficult to manage. And if you don't have, smokes, you don't have fast vehicles, or you don't have an early rotation, it really becomes crucial if someone's holding it.
Oh, speaking of rotations here, John, Mortal and Seoul are going to be coming into contact with Brawlers. Two of the favourites coming into this tournament. Actually, just a swift drive-by. No shots really going to be sent off just yet. Brawler's going to be going the opposite way as well. Haven't seen the next circle, but it's going to be coming in soon as the blue zone is starting to shift.
Megastars are heavily split on their rotation. They've left one of their players out northwest, and the rest of the team are rotating in to try and get a little bit more central. This could come back to bite them. If they go for an open rotation and they lose one of their players, all of a sudden they're fighting a huge disadvantage.
Moving into phase two, still no players have died as of yet. You can see the LAN jitters have shifted out of the first game, and now people are starting to get a bit more reserved and settled into this one. But it could also go down to the map itself. As we keep saying time and time again, you can see now on your screens why the compound-based map, all the buildings teams can set up in, fortify, wait for the circle to come in. But then again, it plays into hands to teams with good rotations that can preemptively get into that good spot, get into that good compound, and have the advantage early on.
Speaking of good spots, somewhere I'd love to see a finish is Dino Park.
I know, it's one of my favourites.
It's fantastic. We'd have to see double hard shifts, though, to try and see that sort of a finish. I would love it, of course. Big fan of the... what's your favourite dinosaur? What's your favourite dinosaur, Alex?
Oh, God, you know what? I couldn't list names of dinosaurs on the spot. Not really for me. You seem like a dino man. Go on, what's your favourite?
I mean... I couldn't do that either. I feel
So
like
why are you asking me that
I've really
question?
run myself up the flagpole on that one, to be honest. But I don't think many of them are going to be looking for their favourite dinosaur. Pretty unlikely we're going to be seeing a finish there. But Seoul, let's run on towards Daku. Saga able to get away for this, well, just for now.
Let's get hit with a few bullets there from Oase. Thankfully, though, we're into phase two shortly. So in terms of med kits and supplies, they should be fine to heal back up to full. As of yet, the action has ceased to come.
Someone who I want to talk about, a team, Insidious. Well, actually, I'll put that on hold. As left pass, they're clashing with Godlike, and it's Snacks to go down first. Sagar is actually in the wings, but he's not going to be wanting to enter this fight. Snacks should be able to get finished off. Siru able to just get it done with the Vector. And Encore running for his life.
Just like that, we have the first kill of the game. Snacks going... Ooh, Sagar there towards the river. May even spot Encore swimming. I think the timing... may have been misfortunate.
He will have heard the steps there. You can see he just moved back on up. He didn't want to take the fight. He doesn't want to give his game away towards Godlike.
One of the advantages here, maybe a silver lining for his team, is the fact that Snacks was the player to go down. I mentioned before the game really got underway. Snacks being the worst performing player for that team, thankfully. As a supportive player, he can give the communication and try and get that shot call roll and have his impact elsewhere after dying. But the zone is beginning its way in, and phase two, will be starting shortly.
Daku over on the southern side towards the springs. Insidious, very, very central, just west of Cement Factory. They're going to be holding over towards Castle. You can see they have a really good controlling spot. But looking over towards the north, you've got Entity still out in the blue. It's first zone, won't do too much damage, but they do need to think about where they're going.
Why do you reckon they're doing this here, John? Do you think they're trying to stay at the edge of the zone, wait for the action to happen and try and take a back seat?
Well, yeah, I think that that could potentially be a reason. I mean, that's normally why you see players stay in the blue. Teams try and rotate through there in these early stages. First 3 circles, it is possible. Second stage, probably the last one where you want to be doing it.
Now, phase 2, the zone is in, or the ring, the circle is in. It's towards the southeastern side again, really focusing in on Volnova, Springs, Cement Factory, and Castle. So as you mentioned before, the possession of the river being pivotal. Oh, AWM in the airdrop. That's going to be one to fight for.
Yeah, that's over towards the south, though. No one really too close by. Pain really the closest to it. It's right on the south. It's outside of this next circle, so unless Pain go for that rotation, or Soul try and make it as well, they're going to be in a bit of trouble. But the Indian Tigers, they've been spotted out by Hydra, but the M16 not quite able to land onto Prince, not just yet.
Yeah, in the vehicle, able to drive away to the very next day. Sharko, though, gets some shots off as well onto the Tigers as they try and fall back towards the east. Hydra above them, Daku below them as well in the Springs. Right now, Tigers are surrounded.
They have got a little bit of a problem here. The sniper trained. It's the Kar-98 in the hands of Sharko for evil big fellas.
Ooh, look at the action as well, potentially towards the northwest. 8-bit
Soul.
and Entity going to be rotating in together. The action on our screens instead is Soul. Ronak, MVP from the last map, trying his hardest to take down.
That push was so bold coming out from the Brawlers. They got the rest of the team outside, looking to try and back them up, but right now they are in the lion's den. As Soul breathing down their necks, looking for the spray, trying to find Frost. He's inside, he's very dangerous. A nade would find it. Ronak's gone down in the meantime. Dark managed to find the shots. In comes the Molotov, but the spray is there first. Viper able to get the down, and that's going to be a capitalization. Frost falls. The Lone Ranger from the previous game is late on into the fight.
Brawl, though, Nova still inside the compound towards the upper tiers. Has the drop now, the UMP up close. Takes shots down to Mortal. But here he is, Nova King alone in the compound. Low HP there as he comes through. Viper's down, and the spray as well. He gets the kill, but he's downed. Teammates too far away, though, drops a resin.
Not going to be able to get on in there. Soul able to hold this compound for now. Really very risky there. What we saw was the Brawlers moving in very, very fast. Soul had the outside positioning, and as soon as they were inside the building, it was siege time, right? It was it was ready for Team IND to, oh sorry, not Team IND. It was the Team Soul to just come in and just pincer them down.
Daku, Sega still there underneath the river. Obviously the 16th place team in the semi-finals who's trying to stay alive to get that placing. Still action here between Soul and Brawlers. Top 2 teams coming into this event as well, in terms of which team the fans are anticipating to take the whole event.
Well, top 3 teams in the last game as well. Remember, Frost able to stick it out till 3rd place. Oh.
Brawlers trying to change their positioning. The flank they're actually working so effectively. Pain, as you said, from the rear, gets the drop on Soul. Oasis down.
He's going to be able to crawl back in. Brawler's not quite in the position to get him on out. And Oasis will be able to live with that one. A and B managed to get the knock there. Decent shots.
Even though Pain might not be one of the best teams in the tournament, A and B statistically was very, very strong. And he's showing us exactly why. Positionally, yeah. Aim-wise as well, able to catch the favourite Soul off guard.
Ooh, a decent drop there. The AUG. Really, really strong at every single range that you can think of, and it's really, really nice to see coming with an extended mag as well. That's going to be a decent pickup near Winery.
Level 3 military vest as well, just to insult to injury.
Yeah, I mean, it's always the level 3 vest, helmet, backpack coming in all of these drops, so it's a really good refresh for any of the players who move forwards in terms of that armor.
Speaking of going forwards, John, the ring has moved northern towards the Cement Factory. Orb, Tigers, RIP official as well, Hydra, all rotating into each other. This is where the action should begin.
And this is where the Insidious's positioning comes into play. They control the rotations over the river, coming in from 8-bit, from Entity Gaming, as they try and make their way into the next circle.
Evil big fellas. Get the drop on Tigers. Tigers have been surrounded throughout the most of this map, struggling so far. From the bird's eye view, Orb as well rotating into the show. Speaking of show, so far Brawlers not enjoying the show. 2 players down, but apart from that, everyone else basically alive here as we go into the 3rd phase.
Well, we've seen what they can do with minimal players before. Let's see if the Brawlers can do it again. They'll have to be a little bit sneaky at the moment. They've made their way all the way up to Castle, I believe, and they're going to be trying to make their rotation behind Entity Gaming, who have now made their way into the center of this circle. Soul making this rotation around south. They've got Pain right on their tail, and the Megastars as well are right there. They're running straight into Daku. They're running just pretty much into everyone. It's a huge cluster down in the southern side.
Oh, Megastars as well. And just Mortal on the side of the car.
Fury
Taking
Road.
shots off indeed. Drive-by as well onto Encore. Shots not really landing, but 25 points of damage was dealt to Encore from Mortal. Still, Paradox swag stationed there towards a bit of the farm, but nothing really coming to fruition as of yet.
Ooh, learn from past taking a knock as well. Decent to see that Seoul are rotating separately. Of course, they've got 2 squads in 2 separate vehicles. The best way to rotate normally around those 3 vehicle mark, but they are going to make it work with 2 for now, and they take control of another compound just to the south side of the circle. Insidious posting up again over towards that north, that sort of western side of the circle. No one really up to the north at this stage.
Aladdin. That's the view of Daku. Not really going to be able to land too many shots there, but let's give away his location. Right now, a massive cluster of teams towards the hot springs in the south. Paradox with the drop onto final boss. He's got HP, going to go behind the rock there and heal up for now. So far, just a standoff.
The Brawlers over on that western side, 2 players remain. They are split up, however. They are split on either side of Entity as well. And Soul, actually Mortal, he's going to be able to get the heal off as well, as he did take a little bit of damage from the evil big fellas. UMP at that range, not the best of weapons to try and find yourself with.
Has got the adrenaline, the energy drinks and whatnot to get to full HP. Does land a shot as well on Sharko from evil big fellas.
Really hard shift. Really hard shift here down south.
Above the North Springs, a massive cluster of teams where Tigers are in the center. Is this where they want to be?
Potentially. I mean, if they've got a compound, they've got position, it's going to be very difficult to push towards them. Again, another orc that's out east of the circle, the next circle, for Rip Official potentially to come on through if they can fight out Daku for it. And it seems like they're going to be able to get it done. They do eliminate a player there.
Lancer going down from Daku. This is where the experience and skill of the teams really starts to show as we're in this 4th phase. The 5th phase is typically where the action really starts to heat up. Legend from Rip Official, just trying to seek out any players above the terrain there.
Seeing out what they can find. Rip Official, they have control of the east, and no one really, again, up to the north, but that's going to change as Insidious do take control to the southern side of the cement factory. Team IND looking to push on through towards the Indian Tigers. Last game's winners, huge kill count coming in, 13 kills for them. They have a really good spot now to do well in this one as well.
Mortal spots out a few of the players from Hydra, Joker being one of them. Speaking of Soul as well, 2 kills so far, tied for the most kills in the game. Dako as well finds 1.
Yeah, just going to try and get that one down. But over in the south side, this really is the close-knit play that we're going to see here from the rest of these teams. Everybody looking for that tiny little bit of cover, but everybody fighting out. And at the moment, the Tigers have a huge amount of control.
Not looking good here. Godlike taking out a few of the players. 3, maybe even 4 here going down for Hydra. This isn't the start they wanted. If they do go out in 16th, 1 player still alive for them. They do not want to finish with 0 placement points in this second game.
No, it would be disastrous for them to start off with, but when you're coming up against a team like the Indian Tigers, it's going to be pretty tricky.
What?
Final boss looks for the spray, doesn't manage to land it onto anyone. The evil big fellas getting real lucky there on the lottery, but Rahil for Daku goes down to his evil big fellas to actually do something in the end.
Molotov going out. Not sure what he's trying to do there apart from start a fire in the forest, unless there is someone directly in front of it. Maybe just trying to...
Don't start forest fires, Alex.
No.
Really bad idea.
Fire anywhere is a bad idea. If I was going to start a fire, I'd rather in a forest where I could run and not building if I got locked in. Either way, we're speaking about death, and right now the only people dying is no one. Still 16 teams alive. So which team's going to get 0 placement points? That is the...
Oh, everyone's just lining up in the window for Team IND, or trying to get the spray down, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to get too much done just yet. Kratos looking for it, looking for the challenge, but with the 3rd person peek from the window, Orb have the advantage now if they stay behind that cover. Daku under pressure, actually. Nikhil, the last remaining player.
Team IND just behind, I believe that's Rip Official as well. Is now they're jamming it away in their car. Driving along as they start their rotation.
We're coming towards that ever-present Phase 5, where we see a lot of these teams start to crunch. Godlike taking a fight with the Megastars, trying to get a little bit of damage down, but nothing found just yet. Nikhil, last player for Daku, will get taken down, and with it, the team goes out in first. It's Daku, eliminated 16th.
Finished 16th in the semi-finals, and they're going to finish 16th here in the second game here on Vikendi. Obviously, the team that wins this whole event, not only 60k, they also get or book their ticket into the spring finals championship itself.
Look at the shift in the next circle. It's going to zone
Oh
straight
my
on
goodness.
in
On the
towards the
Tigers.
Indian Tigers.
Yeah.
Yet again, they have position. This is a brilliant start for them.
John, do you reckon they can make it 2 for 2 and coming first?
We've seen it before. We've seen it happen. See if they're able to do it this time here on Vikendi. They, as I said, they have the presence. They have the compound. Very, very difficult to dismount them. There we go. Existence. Watch out for the rock. Oh, no. Watch out for that one as well. Oh, no. Okay, fine. Just
People
stop.
have been struggling today, John, with driving.
To be fair, they have just positioned those vehicles in a standard V cover formation around the rock, so that's where they wanted to potentially play to load up. But they're under pressure, very, very close by. It's Hydra, and you can see they're moving their vehicles up to try and leapfrog and split their forces.
Insidious from the north, Megastars, Evil Big Fellas, and Godlike from the south. Towards the southeast as well, John. I think there's some action coming up as Pain and their vehicles make their rotations in, but they're going to be met by 3 teams.
Team IND again is there. Avi is going very, very low. Bishma gets the spray down, gets the knock. Long range with the UMP and the suppressor as well. Looking for Khan as well. Megastars, they're taking heavy punishment, and they are fighting away with Godlike as well. Aladdin goes down by the Darcia as well, and they are just losing members left and right. Everybody's starting to shoot everyone up.
Oh, in the open there, Ash is caught in between the thick of it. Magazine from Entity Gaming raining down hell from above. As Iconic from Brawlers is one of the young in the compound just next to Ash.
Oh, no.
So he might have the final blow.
Oh, but he's taking a lot of damage himself. The Brawler's taking punishment. The Dark is going very, very low. Will get taken out, and it's just Iconic now left for the Brawlers.
Oh, Max from 8-Bit still alive as well. A few of the players from 8-Bit really under fire. None of the players are full HP. And it's Iconic in the compound.
Brawlers out in 15th place. They're going to go down from 3rd to 15th. What a drop we just saw. They are going to go down early. I'm surprised, though, that Hydra haven't pushed over the hill to take the fight with Entity yet. They heard the shots go off.
Surprising the way that we posted them to do so well on Vikendi as well to finish 15th. Isn't the best. But Soul.
Is that Pain? I think Pain around.
Well. Yeah, Pain. Actually, I think it is Pain. We'll find out shortly for you guys. Right now, that the circle's still closing in. The blue zone getting closer towards RIP official 8-Bit. Pain mega towards the south as well. This is Hydra.
Oh no.
Bishma through the smoke again at long range. He seems
Same
to be
position.
so effective with the UMP as well, John.
Yeah, shouldn't be able to really get too much damage down at range. The 9mm really not super effective, but seems to be making it work. The rest of Hydra as well are backing him up. Pain under a lot of pressure right now. But over on the northern side, Insidious as well, taking a lot of punishment. That might have been them out. Insidious are down.
This is very, very strange, the results we're seeing here, John. Ash able to get behind the vehicle, but he's got teammates that are downed in that smoke.
Hydra are going to be happy with this next circle shift. You can see it zoning straight onto them.
Oh,
they have
perfect.
control of the hillside, very, very close to them. This is going to mean that the Indian Tigers have to move away from this compound that has served them so well up until this point.
Prince spots out Tempest, rotating towards the south. Can't quite capitalize off of it just yet. Speaking of going south, Team IND, Orb as well, they have to make their rotation fast as that zone is coming in quick.
Orb, actually, we haven't heard too much from them. They've just been chilling around near the edge, trying to see what they can do. All 4 players still remaining. They have that eastern side, but they're behind Soul. Soul have sent a scout out into the center of the circle. Awace has made that way forwards, but the rest of the team just hanging back a little bit.
Assistance on our screens. Right now trying to work out where the hell the fire's coming from. He's got the Tigers in the north directly in front of him. The red dot of aid up close. Tigers versus Entity. Which team's going to take this engagement?
This is a good smoke coming out from Existence. He knows he's at a massive disadvantage in this fight. He wants to fall back to the rest of his team, so he's lobbing out the smokes, covering his retreat, giving a little bit of a literal smoke screen to be able to go on back, covering himself from the ridge. Nice discipline.
4 kills coming in for Soul as well. As so far for kills, they've been doing phenomenal in these first games. Mortal as well gets Pain A and B. Another kill. Oh, it's actually just downed into the full kill, excuse me. So A and B is out, so that's the firepower
Did
from
Hydra go down? Have Hydra gone down in the meantime? Did we miss that? Because Soul have the position that they were holding. They've just rotated all the way in, and all of a sudden, Soul now dominant in the circle.
Speaking of the circle, still closing in. Tempest, Paratosh as well are the only players outside of it right now towards the north, so Tigers are going to have a drop on them.
Orb now starting to enter the fight. See, they're finding the knock. Kratos is down, will get spotted out by Gatakin, will get finished off as well. Nice shots coming out from that M16 over towards that southern side. For the moment, the Indian Tigers, they have the northern control and they're going for the fight.
Oh, Mortal with the UMP, spots out Blades. Oh, and down he goes. That's going to be another team eliminated as well. RIP official. Not doing too good here.
Over on that eastern side, RIP, yeah, as you say, one player remaining for them up on the north, at the back of the Indian Tigers as well. Orb have control of this eastern side. Seoul pretty dominant in the western side, but they have Entity to contend with. The battle for the south really undecided.
Phase 6 here, John. 20 players alive. They're playing so conservative and so reserved. But then once it gets into the crux of it towards the end, each position makes such a big difference in placement points. The difference between second and first is 8, remember, and that's what they're fighting for.
A down coming through for the Indian Tigers. They're going to lose 1. They have, remember, got that Rip player up behind them, but Tempest falls. That's them out in 7th. And now it's going to be the next circle coming on in. Orb have to make the rotation as well, but Entity Gaming will be very, very happy with this. Orb, they get spotted out by Learn From Past. King taking a lot of damage.
6 teams remaining, 20 players currently in the server. Mortal with the UMP at range again, spots out Scout. He's going to just play this one slow up. There's a smoke screen across as well to make sure that they don't know which side is coming from.
10
kills for Seoul. My goodness, they are performing so far again in the second game. Maybe the experience on this team really coming to fruition with the fact that we're on land.
That's 4 kills for Mortal as well. Really, really huge coming on in. And now the players are starting to crunch together. This is where we're going to see going down to the last 3 teams. Team IND start to mount up for their rotation.
Gattack spots out Team IND in the open. Managed to get behind the rock though. LFP from behind though gets a kill onto IND, and this is where things really start to heat up from 20. It's going to go down quickly, and in the blue zone he goes down.
He's still got a teammate, but he goes out as well. That's Learn From Past getting eliminated. Mortal still in it. Going to be able to lob the Molotov around, and that's going to displace Trance. Nicely done. Coming out from Mortal over the top, under the arm. Smooth as silk.
Ronak as well for Seoul taking down Neo, the star player. That team from Orb, as he is down currently. Still though, zone is coming in. Teams are going to be forced into the 7th phase. Tigers there towards the north as well. They have the elevated angle. Orb able to get behind the rock there just about.
Not quite able to take him down. Already Gatak getting taken down by the Indian Tigers, still into very, very strong top place finishes from last game, and they are not done just yet. Orb eliminated in 5th as they get taken down on that rotation from the east. The Tigers now have control of the north.
Team IND and Seoul battling out here between the rocks towards the upper terrain, but from behind it's Marvi. Guess they drop onto existence, downs him as well. ETG, Eternity Gaming, going to be surrounded here by players.
Get the nade out, he's lobbing it in. Who's play zone, taking down one of them. They're going to try and burn them. Seoul picking up so many kills. I think the Tigers managed to nab one of them as well.
Molotov kill there for Ronak. Maybe fighting for that MVP
kills
again.
now for Seoul.
This is incredible so far for them. I'd like to see the kill distribution as well shortly, but 4 currently for Oasis. As he comes in from behind onto Trance, spots him out. The spray from behind. Good night. 2 teams remaining, 7 players.
This is the same
Tigers
finish.
versus Seoul.
This is the Indian Tigers versus Team Seoul. We saw it with 2 players remaining on either side before. We're now going to see it with 3 on the Seoul and 4 on the Tigers.
But the zone lands directly on top of Tigers. They have the positional advantage here and the high ground. They have the advantage here, John.
But the spray is in. Mortal taken very, very low, but there's the Black getting chucked on back. Carry takes a lot of damage, but he's going to be able to heal up.
Look where Marvi is as well. He has the elevated ankle. It might be able to get a drop on the flank onto a few of the players here from Seoul as they lob out their grenades, use their utility to shroud their position and try and move forward above the hill.
Unknown quantities devastate teams if they don't know where they're being shot from. They don't know where they're being approached from. It's going to be super, super difficult. Under the arm again, Mortal able to lob out the smokes, trying to just cover them, move them up towards that circle. They have to use their utility now, which could come back to bite them.
But they need their utilities. They're down a man. It's 4 players for the Tigers and 3 for Seoul as Mortal in the vehicle. Moves into the smoke. Ooh, Prince as well is going to drop. Mortal's going to be knocked down.
Ronak down as well. Seoul on their last legs right now. 1 player remaining. It's Oasis.
Let's see what he can do. Spots out 2 of the players towards the tree. Runs out of bullets, and the Tigers take it again.
2 in a row, back to back. These guys are set to be champions.
My goodness, John.
Really strong positioning coming out. They knew that Seoul had to move towards them. They held their nerve, and once again, give it up for the Indian Tigers. Back-to-back winners here. Vikendi goes their way.
Finishing the 4th in the group stages, 9th in the semi-finals, but so far back-to-back, they've taken both of these maps. Narangal and Vikendi, the next one being Sangho. Can they make a 3 for 3 and get that hat-trick?
Oh, we'll have to wait and see. I think we've seen it once before, 3 wins in a day, not triple back-to-backs though. Insidious, the closest they've come is 2 in a row with a 3rd win on the day, interrupted by one of those. I think it was about 5th place, but we won't go into that one.
Funny thing is, people always talk about, oh, BR games, they're so random. We know what, say that to the Indian Tigers right now as they've taken 2 games back-to-back. The question now comes, can they continue this pace as the day goes on? But a team we're going to have to talk about is Brawlers. The #1 team coming in this entire thing from the semifinals, being demolished across the entire game, being pinched in from behind in multiple zones, losing a man early on. Nova King fell, but he did trade 1 out against Viper. They are having a tough day.
They really are. They went out 15th. The Brawlers, you know, they placed 3rd, so they're okay. In these situations, you kind of have one like bad luck card that you can play if you want to still be in a chance with hitting those top 3 spots. They're going to have to use that early on, and that's really not the position you want to be in.
Then, John, what was the bad luck for them?
Well, having a bad game.
Okay,
so
bad
being in a
game,
situation,
not really luck then.
you know, bad luck bears kind of game. Sometimes you just don't get the zone. Sometimes you just get shut down by something out of your control.
But they make me look like an idiot with how much I was, hyping them up as it was for Kendi.
Well, you do that perfectly well on your own.
Yeah, they didn't try that hard.
Yeah, well, okay, well, if you're going to be like that then. Either way, I thought they were going to do so well over Kendi. Compound-based map, a team that is so good at rotation, so smart in the way they play. Don't get too many kills. Instead, they play for smarts. Instead, as you said, they have a bad game and they 16th.
Well, on the flip side of that, Seoul, huge
Amazing.
frags coming out. I think it was 14 frags they ended the game with. Absolutely huge numbers coming in second. They came second previously as well with 16. They've now put themselves up at 30 kills.
So they
in 2
basically
games.
got a first place finish on a map without having to even play it, just based off kills alone.
Absolutely. It's huge numbers.
Yeah, obviously they won the, trying to just remember the name of the tournament, Mortal won India Series and also 2 of the semi-final games in itself. So in terms of recent form, they're looking incredible. So yeah, they've transformed it, transferred it to LAN, and so far, one of the teams to look out for to maybe take the whole thing.
Well, let's take a look at the results from match 2 as well, because we saw the Indian Tigers do it back-to-back yet again. One team that's really standing out as not as performing as I hoped to so far is Insidious, as they've been riding the edge of the zones quite a few times. You can see there, 39 alone for Indian Tigers. That puts them up over 70 points now. I think over 80, actually, if I'm not mistaken. And solidly in first place.
Yeah, so they had 43 coming out from the first game, so you top that up, and quick maths, what's that? 43, 70, 80 something.
I dropped out of school, mate.
While you do the math, though, look really quickly, because we can see Seoul second place, 2 points behind. They're 8 points behind in placements, but because of those 15 kills they got, they keep it very close.
No one's challenging these people right now for the storylines. It's all about Indian Tigers and Team Seoul. They are just these titans dueling it out at the top, which means that 3rd place is all the more up for grabs.
That is true, and a team that's going to be gunning for that, I think, is Orb. I mentioned them in the first game and how they performed. They always seemed to have the zone, but that one zone, I think it was around zone 5, is where they got caught off guard, having to transition from where they were through multiple teams. Again, they had zones every single time, but when it came down to fighting, they seemed to really struggle. But still, 5th place is not a bad place to be.
Yeah, obviously 5th place in the last one. They actually finished 5th as well in the semi-finals, 20th in the group, but the standout player for Orb is Neo. I mentioned it as well during the matchup itself. In the group stage, he had more kills than his whole team combined. That's how much of a firepower and piece of the puzzle he is for Team Orb. So when he goes down early, it doesn't look too good, but thankfully he stayed in it and they looked well and he got 5th.
And we need to really talk about a big name here. I mean, we already mentioned before, we talked about before, it's not Brawlers. This team, 15th place at the end of that map. At the end of that match. This was the team who was #1 that came through into this. What do they need to do now? Is it nerves? Is it just maybe teams rising to the occasion? Is it them not performing well? But John, what do they need to change up?
We've seen the disparity between their group stage, between their semi-finals, and we were talking about looking for their consistency here. To me, it feels like they just haven't got that on board. They haven't been able to step up in the way that we have seen them do in the past. They need to try and, recollect themselves, take a little bit of a break, take a breather, which they will have been able to do. I mean, you go out early, you get a longer break, right? So you're going to be able to rethink. You're going to be able to watch the rest of the game. I mean,
Some
it's
positive
true.
to it,
I mean,
right?
True.
I mean, you
get
lost
longer
really early,
breaks.
but hey, you
You
get more
can't
time.
spin that. Obviously, they finished 12th in the group stages and then made it all the way to first in the semi-finals. Coming into this event here, if they have a slow start, we saw them have a slow start in the group stages and then make it back up towards semi-finals. So here they need to have a slow start on day one and try and battle back against on day two.
Check out the numbers on Oasis, though. 16 kills so far over 2 games.
Incredible, averaging
Huge,
8 per game. That's amazing.
Over half of his team's kills.
That's amazing. That's fantastic. That's a really strong player to have, to be consistent when it comes to playing here on LAN. Because we talked about this before, right, Alex? I mean, you've played games professionally. Playing in an audience, playing in front of people watching you with your teammates next to you. The pressure that's on your shoulders, and for him to step up like this is amazing to see.
I always struggled with the pressure. One of the mistakes I used to make was I used to look around, look at the crowd, look at the people looking at me, staring at me while I'm playing, and then I would always crumble, essentially. But I've actually taken some of that experience now and used it in commentating. So one of the things I did today was I walked out, didn't pander towards the lovely crowd. Instead, I focused on my notes, focused on the screen, focused on the camera and your lovely face. And obviously performing a lot better than I did when I played.
You're being nice there. I swear, when we're off camera, lovely is not a word in his repertoire to describe this face.
But you're right, though, in a sense of the experience coming into play, they're focusing in, they're honing in on their phone, and they're playing amazing.
And now the question is the pace. Can teams start to step up? Luckily for teams like Brawlers, right? It's the first day. It's 2 matches. You have to play 12 total. You have 10 left to go. So there is a chance for them to turn some things around and really start to focus when time matters. I mean, that's the upside for them, right?
That's the thing. Yes, you can turn it around. Yes, you can do well, but it's really all about those top 3 spots, right? You're looking to qualify for Berlin. You want to be able to get at least to the prelims and the huge paycheck as well. 60K for top spot? That's insane. That's huge money coming in.
I mean, split between 4, potentially 5 players. That's like a whole 15,000 per person.
For a week.
If I can do my math on air correctly.
Not for a weekend.
Sounds like one of your day rates.
I wish. But guys, we're gonna move into our next map in just a few moments on Sandhog. Any early predictions you have for this?
Indian Tigers wipe the entire lobby.
Oh, thank you very much. I reckon it's going to be a faster pace. I'm hoping it's a faster pace. We saw such slow play early on. We know what's on the line, so they're not going to take as many risks. Hopefully, we start to see the risks come into play on a map like Sandhog.
Well, we're talking about the Indian Tigers. We actually have them on stage for a little bit of an interview here to hear what they had to say about their performance so far.
All right, we are here at this point in time with the winners of Game 1 and Game 2. Please give them a huge round of applause, everybody. The Indian Tigers. I mean, everyone saw the game. सबको देखने में समझ आ गया था कि initially the first game जो आपने खेला था, उसमें everybody was like nail biting finish. But the second one also nail biting, but seems to be a strategy that you followed from the first game. अब आप चारों में से second game में lead किसने लिया था? आप कर रहे हैं पूरे. So first game में और second game में दोनों में strategy आपकी separate पे क्या थी? Was it to get as many kills या फिर आराम से ठंड रख पापी, आराम से खेलेंगे, आराम से जीतेंगे?
No, actually in the Wrangle game, there were a lot of there were not a lot of compounds. It was an open zone, so we thought that we can get some kills and we can try to move into the zone. But in the Weekendy game, it was like there were some compounds in the end. But when the last zone came, there was no compounds, and we thought that we are not going to go for the kills because we are securing a good point table. And so we just keep it calm, didn't went for kills and took the chicken dinner.
Yeah, because दूसरे गेम में भी अगर आप देखोगे तो फिर आपको पता था exactly कहाँ पर जोन खत्म होने वाला है, तो चारों के चारों आके वहाँ पर रुक गए थे. And we're like, ये अगर हमने फोर्ट संभाल लिया तो आराम से गेम अपनी है. And for both games, such a close finish. And was that intended कि बाहर से अंदर आएंगे कि हम सेंटर में रहेंगे?
Actually, we took a closer look at the zone, and we thought we should take the center according to the zone. But maybe the next time the strategy might be different. We could go for the edge.
See, that's what, keeping it interesting. You never know exactly what the Indian Tigers are going to do. Once again, give a huge round of applause to the Indian Tigers. 2 games back to back. These guys are winning. You guys are crushing it. We're going to be going into a small break at this point in time, and we will see you after that.
playing Anjua. My in-game name is Sol Ronak and I'm 20 years old.
Hello, my name is Naman Mathur. My in-game name is Mortal. I'm from Navi Mumbai.
Hello, I'm Yash Soni. My in-game name is Soul Viper and I'm from Mumbai.
Hello, my name is Mohammad Owais Lakhani. My in-game name is Soul Owais and I'm from Mumbai.
So वो PMIS के टाइम पे वो ग्रेनेड मोमेंट तो बहुत अच्छा था एंड मैंने भी बाद में जब रिप्ले में देखा खुद ही गूज़बम्स आ गए मुझको खुद को एंड आई ट्राई इसमें भी कुछ ऐसा ही हो ग्रेनेड्स को बहुत इस्तेमाल करूँगा।
सो जैसे कि सबको पता है कि हम हमेशा जोजोपुर ही जाते हैं, सो सब हमारी रोटेशन रीड कर लिए सब लोग ने। सो दिस टाइम विल कम अप विद न्यू स्ट्रैटेजीज, लेट्स सी। या फिर अगर जोजोपुर भी जा सकते हैं, देखते हैं, वो सरप्राइज रहेगा सबके लिए।
तो बेसिकली हम लोग नई नई स्ट्रैटेजीज ट्राई कर रहे थे। सेमीफाइनल्स का टाइम था, वी न्यू कि हम लोग को सिर्फ टॉप 16 में रहना है, तो तभी थोड़ा चिल मार के खेल रहे थे। बाकी टीम्स पे, बाकी जोन पे भी डिपेंड करता है, लक पे भी डिपेंड करता है।
वैसे तो हर एक टीम अच्छी है, बट जो टीम जिसको ज़्यादा एक्सपीरियंस है, जिसने ज़्यादा मैचेस खेले, जिसने ज़्यादा टूर्नामेंट्स खेले, उनको तो ऑब्वियसली एक्सपीरियंस है और उनको हमारा रोटेशन पता है, हम कहाँ उतरते हैं वो पता है, उनको डिफेंड करना आता है, उनको मारना आता है, हर चीज़ आती है। तो बट वैसे तो IND बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग टीम है, उनका स्ट्रेटेजीज, उनका हर चीज़ अच्छा है। बट ये बार हम भी ट्राई करेंगे कि उनसे कैसे बचना है, हर टीम से कैसे बचना है, तो हम कर लेंगे। ये बार हमने पूरा सब करके आया है।
इतने टाइम से हम साथ में खेल रहे हैं, तो वो बात तो है कि अंधा भरोसा है एक दूसरे पे, हर टीममेट पे, कि अगर पुश बोला एक बार पुश तो पुश, वैसे कहीं भी कोई एक कॉल दे बस हम घुस जाएंगे।
और एक और बात, जैसे कि क्लासिक मैच में हमने लाइक बिना बात किए भी हम लोग कोऑर्डिनेट कर सकते हैं, लाइक माइक बंद करके भी हम लोग खेल सकते हैं अच्छे से, क्योंकि सबको पता है किसको क्या करना है, किसको क्या नहीं करना। सो वो एक अच्छा सिनर्जी बन चुका है हमारा।
सो सेमीफाइनल्स में ऐसा फेज था जहाँ पे हम लोग बहुत ही बुरा परफॉर्म किए थे एंड बट देन वी मैनेज टू फिनिश 4th इवन आफ्टर पुअर परफॉर्मेंस, बट देन नॉट पुअर बट देन इनकंसिस्टेंट। बाकी जो प्रेशर की बात है, ऑडियंस प्रेशर, हम लोग उसको एज सच बिल्कुल भी कंसिडर नहीं करते हैं। वी लर्न फ्रॉम अ मिस्टेक, दैट्स द ओनली प्रेशर।
आई थिंक मैंने बीच में ट्राई किया था 3 फिंगर, बट मुझे जमा नहीं था। सो मैंने जो मेरे को जम रहा था, मैं 2 फिंगर पे आई वॉज प्रिटी कॉन्फिडेंट कि मैं कर सकता हूँ, सो आई वेंट ऑन विद इट। बाकी इम्प्रूव करने को रूम तो है ही, 3 फिंगर में एडवांटेजेस भी काफ़ी है, बट अगर आपको कॉन्फिडेंस है खुद पे कि यू कैन प्रूव योर सेल्फ, तो आई थिंक यू शुड स्टिक टू व्हाट यू आर बेस्ट एट।
जिनको फिक्र कल की वो रोए रात भर, जिनको भरोसा रब पर वो सोए रात भर।
हमारा ये मोटिव तो ये है दैट वी वोंट लेट यू गाइज डाउन। अब तक तो सफ़र सही रहा, बट ऊपर नीचे होता रहता है थोड़ा बहुत, सो वी नीड यू गाइज सपोर्ट अस, लाइक आप लोग हमें सपोर्ट करते रहे एंड विल ट्राई टू गिव आवर बेस्ट। SAUL
Soul!
Sub gamers are back and this time I have a new team, new energy, new excitement और I can assure you कि इनसे ज़्यादा कलीसी मार्केट में कोई भी नहीं। So एक बार देखते हैं, कट करे में हमारे पास स्काउट ओपी, बदमाश और जनता जनार्दन जो उनको बचाएगी, दलजीत ट्रांसलेटर। तो फिर स्टार्टिंग की एक वही करेंगे, हम पर्ची में नाम लिखेंगे, भाई के चेहरे पे चिपकाएंगे, लोग गेस करेंगे। मुझे रूल पता है ना? हाँ। 20 क्वेश्चंस और चंड मत बने हो। हमारे पास आ चुकी है पर्ची, लॉन्डो देख लो, राज तिलक कर देते हैं, इनको बना देते हैं सिंगापुर का राजा। चलो ठीक है, पहला सवाल। लिविंग?
नो।
इज इट एनिमल?
नो।
इज इट अ फूड?
यस।
इज इट नॉन वेज?
नो।
इज इट लिक्विड?
यस।
इज इट नेचुरल?
यस। यस।
Is it available on roads, footpath?
Yes.
Fruit juice?
No.
Pani puri?
No.
Sikanji?
No.
Sikanji, हाँ, action से US का है। Sikanji। 10. नारियल पानी?
No.
नींबू पानी?
No.
अगर शिकंजी में हल्का सा मसाला वही बन जाता है। 2 बार 12 हो गए भाई। टेंशन वाला माहौल। टेंशन का माहौल है। लस्सी?
No.
13. Is it related to milk?
Yes. Yes.
ओह, अब थोड़ा सा और एक्सपर्टीज में आ रहे हैं। दूध से मिला हुआ चीज। मिल्क शेक?
No.
वो जो चीज है ना, हाँ, वो गर्म भी है, ठंडी भी। ठंडी महंगी है। रबड़ी?
No.
4 रह गए हैं। स्वीट?
No.
हो गया, तूने बर्बाद कर लिया है। 17, 3 रह गए। प्रोटीन शेक?
No.
अरे गोबर पानी में डालते प्रोटीन को, उसमें दूध का होता है। 2 रह गए भाई, 18 नहीं कर पाया तू। सुन कितनी बर्बादी करी है ना तूने। मुझे पता चल गया, लिक्विड पता चल गया, ठंडा गरम का ड्रामा भी पता चल गया। उसके बाद भी अनशन बोला शिकंजी चाय
नो
अच्छा चलिए बात बता, लास्ट टाइम तूने ठंडी चाय महंगी खरीदी है? आइस टी हैं? दूध की ऐसी चीज जो रेगुलर बेसिस में कंज्यूम करता है इंसान। जूस पीते हैं, ऑफिस में पीते हैं, कॉफी। अब निकल गया, दर्द से निकल गया।
मैं कोल्ड कॉफी बोलने वाला था, 17-18 सोचा था
चाय उतार और देख, बुरा लगेगा।
ये गलत बात है यार, मैं चाय तक गया था, मैं कॉफी बोलता हूँ तो यार बोला कि कौन सी महंगी कॉफी मिलती है भैया?
फुटपाथ पे कॉफी मिलती है ना। मतलब हमें एक स्काउट का नया रूप देखने को मिला। फाइनली दिस अल्टीमेट जर्नी हैज कम टू एन एंड। स्काउट ने आंसर दे दिया, बट स्काउट आई विश यू गुड लक टू यू एंड योर टीम। बहुत अच्छा खेला, गुड लक। एंड फॉर द ऑडियंस, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर वाचिंग एंड कीप सपोर्ट।
Welcome back, everyone, to the PUBG Mobile Club Open India Finals from Jason Kaplan. I don't know where that came
Jason
from.
Kalpan.
And that is another one of my aliases. I'm joined here on the desk by Blett and Alex as we get into our third game here. First of all, before we jump fully into this, Alex.
Yes.
I didn't ask you, how have you been enjoying India so far?
Love it. Do you know what surprised me, Jason, was the buzz around the city right now for this event, for this game in itself, and it's taken me by surprise, but it's a welcome change. Loving it so far.
Yeah, it's like basically going to like Denmark and seeing them supporting all the
Counter-Strike,
teams.
yeah,
All the
crazy.
teams over there. But it's great to see here. And actually, let's take a look at the standings overall before we fully dive into this, because we have to see where we're currently at now into match 3. And there's one team and one team beyond everyone else out there, as you can see. Not as many points as I expected. However, they're still locking down that #1 position.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Indian Tigers, I think they've been a surprise so far. 2 back-to-back first places. And yes, they had a pretty impressive number of kills in the first game, but Team Seoul, yeah, they might be second placed here, but god damn it, the number of frags they've been getting.
And look at the difference here, Alex, between the second place team of Team
Wow,
Seoul
yeah.
and Team IND. We talked about it's the top 3 that go through to Berlin, right? And it's a battle at the moment for that third place.
It seems like if the games go as we've seen so far, maybe Team Seoul, Indian Tigers get that first, second spot, and then we see on day 2 towards the end of it that fight for third to qualify for the prelims and see which team makes it all the way to the Spring Championship.
And fight for third exactly is. That's the perfect way to describe it. IND at 36. You have Learn from Past at 35. Rip Official at 32. 29 for Orb. Every team is battling out for that third place.
But then again, we are only in early days, so when we look for Team Insidious there at 9th place, the Brawlers at 8th, I believe, through the power of consistency, Jason, that as the days go on, as we see more games happen, Brawlers, Team Insidious, Hydra as well start to make their way up the ladder, and then that, as you said, race for third really gets intense.
And one thing we have to really look out for Team Seoul there as well. 75 points, but keep in mind, 30 of those are alone just from kills.
30 or 31, but it's still something ridiculous.
Without placement points. That, like half their points practically is from that alone.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we expected maybe Team... By the way, don't forget Team IND as well. They have been really fragging very hard, and if you look at the positioning here, the third place right now, a lot of it, I'm quite sure, did come down to those frags. But Team Seoul, Jesus Christ, everyone on the team can frag, and they can really do a lot of damage. But that being said, I still want to talk a little bit about Indian Tigers, man. They have been the team to watch so far.
Before you dive into them really quick, I just want to point out like one more stat. Statman Jason over here was looking up. So they have 30 frags, 30-31.
Okay.
That's almost half out of 2 matches that they had the entirety of the semifinals, which was 16 matches they played. So out of 2 games, they almost have half the amount they had out of 16. That's them showing up.
That's them showing up, and at the same time, it's also the fact that if you look, again, we're going to touch upon something we touched upon early in the day today, is playing online and playing on LAN is a very different ball game altogether. And Team Seoul, this is a very experienced lineup.
But already as well, first 2 games, both MVPs have gone to players from Team Seoul. Awais and Ranak have claimed that so far. And when we move on to a map like Sandhook, which is kill heavy, aggressive heavy, and a faster paced map, those kills are going to be paying dividends.
And as we dive into the Indian Tigers that you wanted to touch on, there's actually a little bit of information for people watching at home as well. For the first time ever for PUBG Mobile, if you're watching on YouTube and you're subscribed, you actually get drops in-game to be using.
Lovely.
Yeah, so if you guys are watching over there, if you're watching on Twitch, go ahead over to YouTube, give it a subscribe button, have 2 streams open at once, there's nothing against it, and get your in-game loot.
Reminds me of good old Counter-Strike skin drops as well.
I never
Fun
got
times.
any. I never got any. Maybe
Really?
I have better luck in this game, hopefully.
Hopefully, I'm going to be logging in right now, because I
Well,
used
hopefully not, because you're supposed to be casting the next
I
match.
can still log in and watch the stream as well. Don't judge me, Jason.
I'm not judging you. I'm not judging at all. But so, talk about the Indian Tigers you want to jump into. This team has come out of the gates clawing, I'm going to say.
Yeah, and here's a really cool thing. Like, you're talking Brawlers and you're talking about Insidious, and they've been playing a little bit more traditional, a little bit more restrained, and Indian Tigers just all out. They're not afraid to take those fights, and that's one thing I wanted to see from many of the underdog teams, and this is the one team which really stepped up to the plate. Fine, they won the first game. Everyone's like, yeah, that could have been kind of a fluke. Winning 2 back-to-back with the number of points and kills they have, that is definitely not a fluke. These guys are here to make a statement.
I think what's interesting as well in the interview after the game when they won was they mentioned how they differ their playstyle depending on the size of the map. On bigger maps, they prefer playing in the center of the circle, get in the compound, get an early advantage point. However, on Sandhook, on a smaller map, try and play towards the edge. Obviously, Sandhook being more of a terrain-based map, less compounds, play towards the edge, maneuver, rotate around, and try to pick people off at the edge of the center.
Absolutely.
And that's something Insidious has been doing actually time and time again those last 2 games. I've been noticing specifically they're playing on the outskirts of those zones. They're playing along the blue, and it seems to be working out for them. However, moving into like zone 6, zone 7 is where things really get risky for them, and maybe they need to do what the Indian Tigers have been doing, is get in that zone a little bit earlier on, and then just battle from there. Get yourself set up in a nice position.
Absolutely, and look at the players on that Insidious lineup, right? They're no rollovers. These guys are players who can take on Indian Tigers or any of the players from Team Soul as well. They definitely have the firepower. So I'm a little surprised. They have great positioning, like you said, Jason. They also have great zone control as well. They just don't seem to really take advantage of it. They play a very reactive play style where they react based on what the rest of the teams are doing. And when that happens, sometimes it's just unfortunate that they get stuck in a rough spot. They get sandwiched between two teams, or they get caught out while rotating from their initial position to a new position. So I'd love to see Insidious be a little bit more proactive, so to speak.
I think so. Obviously, for Insidious having Cartoons, the highest killer in the semi-finals, 4-1 kills across that week, I believe. Coming into a map like Sandhook, kills being paramount here. We speak about the fast pace of it. Maybe that's where they can try and get a better placing here. But one of the interesting things as well, speaking of Cartoons, speaking to him literally yesterday, he mentioned how nervous he was coming into this event because of the pressure, the prestige, the money, the placements, what it means going into the spring finals, the prelims, etc. He said there's so much riding on it, and you can see team that was so amazing online, struggling so far in the first few games here at LAN.
Absolutely, and this is it. These are the events where boys turn into men, Jason.
Or Cubs turn into
Tigers.
Yeah. How many of these references are you going to make, Jason?
I actually had one more. If they win this third game here on Sandhoff Indian Tigers, are they putting their paw down and letting everyone know they're here to play? They're here to show you.
Appalling.
Yeah, we're pushing.
I'll give you that one. For the top of your head, I'll give you that one.
I mean, it was off the top of the head, so what can I say?
So now, looking at how this tournament's going, right? I mean, you played online, you played on LAN before in other games. If you're here in the situation, now 2 games done out of 12, is this where you start to mix up your style a little bit if it's not working for you? Or is this, Alex, where you start to say, let's just continue to play our own game for a little bit more. Let's get through all the maps once and then think about changing some stuff.
Well, what's so interesting was I thought coming into this event, it would be the teams with the best foundations. I thought teams like Team IND, Soul as well, which are kill heavy, won't be as strong on LAN. Obviously, how wrong I was with that. The reason being is how much easier is it to play smart, play reserve, play conservative, and play rotations around the circles and get those placement points versus using your skill and your individual aim to get frags, or kills, excuse me. So that's why I initially thought teams like Insidious, Hydra, etc. do so well, as those were the 2 teams with the most placement points overall so far in the tournament. Instead, I was completely wrong. Kills seem to be the salient factor here.
I think that has been the biggest difference here. Looking at all the VODs, all the previous games, which you saw on the group stage and the semifinals and all that, this is a very different breed of PUBG Mobile that I'm seeing being played here. Much more aggressive mid-round, not mid-round, rather mid-game positioning from many of the teams as well. So this is a big surprise, and to be honest, it's a welcome surprise. I want to see some aggression. I don't want to see everyone playing very passively. And Team Soul, they're like, yeah, we might be getting just 1 point to kill. Doesn't matter if we kill everyone, we're still going to win the bloody thing.
The thing is that maybe we understated how important kills actually are. We talked about placements as being this major factor. 30 points for first place, 30 points for just getting first, or 30 kills. Like, that's a massive discrepancy. But one thing we have to keep in mind is getting a kill not only nets you a point, but it takes a player out of a team. And when you're in a 4-man squad, being down 1 player, it can limit like the rotations you want to do. It can limit the amount of firepower you can bring into this, potentially limit some utility they have as well. But you're also making it easier for you to make it further in the placements.
Yeah, it's true, but also there's an opportunity cost. You mentioned the kills, what you take away from other teams, but also what you take away from yourself. If you take that risk, lose a player early, I mean, look at we saw the I say 1 versus 1, but Tigers versus Soul in the last phase of the last map, it was a 3 versus 4. Tigers having that extra player meant that they did take the second map as well. So it's one of those advantages where if you play it safe, keep 4 players alive, keep your utility strong, it really pays itself back in the later stages.
Just to add on to what you just said as well, Frost, Jason, you pointed out earlier, like he was the first casualty of that game. He got knocked out, he didn't die, but the fact that he survived that initial skirmish, and he was the last player staying alive, and he ensured that Brawlers at least got a 3rd position. So it's all about the small little things, man, the small little difference makers in the game.
And he just snaked his way through, right? Sitting in the bush until like a final moment he had to stand up and shoot eventually.
Hey, it worked.
It did. You can't argue with the results, right? The 3rd place finish was exactly what they needed into that match.
Absolutely. But I think the only big surprise here for me is Brawlers had they had a pretty good showing the first game, second game not so much. But Insidious, man, like you said, is it the nerves? Is it the fact that they're playing too passively while teams like Soul and Tigers are just taking the fight to them? Something is missing right now, and they still have a lot of games. We have 4 more games today.
Yeah, and looking at the first 2 matches we did have, seeing Soul fight Brawlers wasn't like the first time on the last Buff and Kendi. They did it as well with Ronak going straight for Frost on Erangel as well. So it seems to be like almost Soul's like kind of indirectly gunning for them, right? We talked about that as like a potential. Like if you're in the number 1, number 2 spot, will teams who are faring not as nicely as you start to drop on you or start to fight you earlier on to potentially give them a chance to stop you from earning points and from them actually getting points. So it actually works out like in double your favor.
But also I feel like it comes down to a factor of teams that just perform well on land, be it experience, be it the pressure. Can teams lean into that pressure and use it as a vessel to make them focus harder and deliver more when they need to, i.e. right now at this major event here in India? And so far, Seoul seem to be that. I don't know why they can't transition it so far, but they really need to step up shortly.
On that note, right, you were telling me this earlier.
And for Brawlers Online,
but the great equalizer when it comes to land, everyone's on the same ping, everyone's on the exact same phone, the Z1 Pro by Vivo. Everyone is playing with the
can't transition it so far, but they really need to step
on that
up
note,
shortly.
On that exact same phone, the Z1 Pro by Vivo, everyone is playing with the same setup. So will that make people who were struggling in the past, maybe with a worse phone than the Z1 Pro or higher ping, will they be able to step up and really perform?
And that's the thing, though. That's an interesting thing, right? That is something which can be applied. You got to wear clothes.
On your boxes.
Whichever thing you want to play with, right? But the thing is, when you come on land, you need to adapt. Now, here's the thing. We've been saying Seoul and teams like Brawlers, they have experience, having played a few land events in the past. But to be honest, though, like PUBG, you name it, Counter-Strike, Dota, League, everything you want to play with, right? But the thing is, when you come on land, you need to adapt. Now, here's very few lands. So
3, I believe.
3, I believe, in total, right? So that's not really an excuse to say that, oh, it's our first time playing. Different storyline taking place in the tournament. So I'm expecting to see some of these teams play a much more different style of PUBG. And at the same time, the fact it's going to be Sandhawk means it's going to get very, if you've made a point in the tournament. So I'm expecting to see some of these teams play a much more different style.
Aggression and hectic. Evil big fellas, notoriously online, on the bigger maps, they were always criticized for being too overly aggressive. They took far...
Like, I've just been watching the way they got eliminated early on, but there seems to be lack of cohesion in the way they were approaching it. Many a time, there was no possibility to go for a trade, for example, and the reses were not coming in time. So it wasn't like they were getting wiped out as a whole. It was like they're just getting, one guy gets knocked down and he dies, then the other guy gets knocked down. So they need to kind of wake up here, if you ask me.
Well, luckily for us, well, unluckily, I guess we're not going to hear from them just yet, but we do have a nice little interview with Team I&D, and we're going to take a look at what they had to say.
Hi, myself Samir, aka Kratos. I'm representing from Bilaspur, Chhattisgarh, and my job in the team is to be an observer and a good assaulter for the team.
I'm Tanmay, aka Scout. I'm from Gujarat. I'm the team IGL of Team I&D, and I'm the flanker and assaulter of the Team I&D.
Hi, my name is Daljit. My IGN is Daljit SK. I'm from Punjab. My role is sniper and spotter of Team I&D.
My name is and my role is entry fragger and assaulter. And my favorite gun is Groza. And I'm from Mumbai. My in-game name is Trans, and my role is entry fragger and assaulter.
Holding stage on the power stage, but we'll work from our brain. We'll defeat them through stats.
So जो main tournaments हो रहे हैं PUBG के, उससे experience wise और जो आने वाले future में जो होंगे tournaments, उसमें e-sports में मोबाइल e-sports में बहुत ज़्यादा फर्क आने वाला है.
हमने क्वालिफायर बहुत अच्छा निकाला था विद मोस्ट अमाउंट ऑफ द किल्स एंड आई गेस हम सेकंड रैंक में थे ग्लोबली, तो अच्छा था, हमारा कॉन्फिडेंस था. बट व्हेन वी स्टार्टेड विद सेमीफाइनल्स एक्चुअली आई गेस टीम्स ने अपना होमवर्क अच्छे से किया एंड दे ट्राइड टारगेटिंग अस.
सेमीज में हम लोग को टारगेट किया गया था और काफ़ी टीम्स जो क्वालिफाई नहीं हो पाई है, वो टीम्स उनको पता है कि उनके पॉइंट्स इतने बढ़ने नहीं वाले, तो दे टारगेटेड ऑन आवर रोटेशंस.
मेरे लिए आई गेस आई फॉलो BTR, वन ऑफ द बेस्ट इंडोनेशियन टीम. उनका हमेशा से एग्रेसिव प्ले स्टाइल रहा है एंड वी हैव लाइक चोजन टू फॉलो देम एज वेल. तो उनका भी वही रहता है, वो स्टार्टिंग में H2H खेलते हैं, बट जैसे जोन क्लोज इन होते जाते हैं दे स्टार्टेड प्लेइंग एग्रेसिव. वो सेंटर लेते हैं, सीधा होल्ड करते हैं, जोन टू जोन, H2H, कवर टू कवर, परफेक्ट रहता है. सो आई गेस वो हमारे आइडियाज हैं. फॉर आवर टीम BTR इज लाइक यू कैन रिलेट मोस्ट ऑफ द स्टफ.
आइडल की बात करें तो मैं बोलूँगा बॉक्स लुइस, वियतनाम का प्लेयर है. ही वॉज वन ऑफ द बेस्ट असल्टर्स इन एशिया. आज भी असल्टिंग में उसका नाम.
उसके लाइक रिफ्लेक्सिव रिएक्शन टाइम बहुत तेज़ है. उनसे बंदा आया हेडशॉट. माय आइडियल प्लेयर इज ही वाज एक्चुअली ही इज फ्रॉम इंडोनेशिया एंड इज द बेस्ट असॉल्टर ऑफ इंडोनेशिया. ही कैरीज हिज टीम फ्रॉम लास्ट फाइट. उसके लाइक रिफ्लेक्सिव रिएक्शन टाइम बहुत तेज़ है. फ्रॉम लास्ट पोजीशन टू थर्ड पोजीशन इन द PMCO. सेमीफाइनल्स. आई हैव सीन इट.
आज की डेट पे जो PMC हो रहा है नेशनल, यहाँ से टॉप 3 टीम्स जाएगी इंटरनेशनल पे. तो कि वी आर कमिंग बैक टू टेक द टाइटल.
हम ट्राई करेंगे पूरा कमबैक करने के लिए या आगे आने के लिए. फर्स्ट आना है बस. एक्सपेक्टेशन बहुत है हमसे लोगों की, सो हमें फर्स्ट आके दिखाना ही पड़ेगा. कुछ भी हो, हाइड्रा को मारना ही है, उनका रोटेशन काटना है.
Team IND for the win.
I really loved hearing from Team IND about the aggression and how well they think this out and how they realize they're going to have to use it in this LAN finals. I really loved hearing from Team IND about the aggression and how well they think this out and how they realize they're going to have to use it in this LAN. Now, a lot of teams are going to have to learn throughout this event.
The cool thing about Team IND is I kind of feel like they're the catalyst for the action to really take place. I've noticed that, you have a lull in the action after the initial loot phase, and then you see IND just going in, taking shots, and all of a sudden, it's chaos all over.
I feel like as well, Jason touched on a really good point about the balance between smarts and skill. For me, again, Insidious, they had the most placement points, 237 across the former weeks. They have Cartoons to play with the highest kill before it's too late.
Well, again, we could talk, maybe he had good ping, and then there's plenty of people with high ping. That's always a factor when it comes to playing online games. But like we said before, LAN is the great equalizer. Great equalizer. And you know what that sound means. We're going to be heading into Sandhawk momentarily. And I've been asking about predictions across the entirety of today. Are we going to get a back-to-back repeat out of the Indian Tigers?
I don't know about Indian Tigers, but the way Seoul are playing right now, I'd be shocked if you don't get a top 2 at the very least.
For me, it's Insidious or Hydra to take it.
Okay, that's
bold,
pretty
bold statement.
Considering they really haven't done much so far, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I'm putting all my eggs in one basket here, Blair. This is what I'm expecting. This is what I'm hoping.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to go live with the third one. It is going to be on Sandhawk.
As you said, on Sandhawk indeed. Game number 3 here. In New Delhi, Sandhawk is going to be the map. Which team's going to take it? Can it be third map, third victory? And Camp Bravo going to be points of contention early towards the southwest, Osami, Nakam, Tambang as well. Maybe not going to be seeing too much action.
Yeah, but everyone obviously dropping along the more expected side, and we do see Hydra with a pretty late drop. They're going to be taking a sweet time here, but we do see everyone kind of slowly migrating towards the southern side, rather one might say the southwestern side of the map. Bear in mind, it is a very small map, and it is the smallest map.
Teams spread out fairly evenly here. Megastars towards the north alongside the Tigers, so far the favourite in this event, as you've seen in the past 2 games. On their west, 8-bit, Hatin taken in their favour. Further towards the west, Brawlers, one of the teams that we need to see improve. On your screens currently, 2 MVPs in the last 2 maps, that's Seoul.
I love the fact that the moment you see Team Seoul on the screen, the crowd just goes mental, and you love to see it. We still don't know what the circle is going to be yet, still very, very early days. And if you look at the way they spread out here, oh, okay, and the circle is still going to take its time. I'm not sure that is correct, though.
So it's Rip efficient towards the center of the map there.
What I do find very interesting here is the fact that all the top teams so far, at least
the center of the map there.
What I do find very interesting here is the fact that all the top teams so far, at least the ones who have had the most points in semis, are spread pretty far apart from each other. We have Brawlers on the left-hand side. We have Tigers, the surprise in the tournament, way up towards north. And we have Mr. Mortal as well. He's dropping a scope for his teammates as they do manage to loot up all the things. They're down towards the middle of the map. That's a part.
On your screen now, Orb. And now Mortal. Okay, quick shift there. Either way, some of the statistics for Orb. 20th in the group stages, making it 5th in the semi-finals. Point to make a salient point as well. Neo being the player to watch from Orb, one of the highest performers statistically in the whole event leading up to the LAN finals. The regional finals, excuse me.
Just taking a look at the map over here, a point which I wanted to make is Tigers up north, right? Pretty far away from everyone.
Every time they've gone north, it seems.
They like going north. And Brawlers far away from the rest of the action as well, at least from the rest of the top teams, so to speak. They have a lot of time to, to loot, set themselves on a very good spot as well. We have, of course, good old Soul smack in the center. And then, of course, we also have the other team that is Insidious, who are currently, I'm not too sure where they are right now.
Hainan currently, towards the south.
Towards the south, indeed, yeah. Good eyes there.
What can I say?
I'm kind of blind, to be very honest. But there we go, Team IND, who have been pretty hyper-aggressive, like Jason did point out earlier. Like, aggression is great, but more controlled, refined aggression would be what they'd be looking for in Game 3 of the day.
I mean, when we're thinking of moments of refined aggression, we had, obviously, Frost in the first map in that 1 versus 3 against him alone against 2 teams. We had Insidious, if you remember, when they took out Pain, the first team to go down, where they charged into that tiny little confined compound. That was brilliant to see. Maybe some more aggression and some confidence from Insidious, but they need that confidence. Brawlers, Insidious, these are teams that if they get kills, they get high placements, maybe they can start to build up a better performance throughout the day, because they are the heavy favorites coming into this one. And as I said, that cartoons on your screen, the highest performer individually in terms of kills, 41 in the semi-finals. I haven't seen much of that firepower today.
Well, let's see if it's just nerves talking or if he's going to indeed wake up today here.
Rip official. Blair, this is a team that's really caught me by surprise. In semi-finals, they finished 15th, 13th in group. So far, I believe they're positioned 7th or 6th. But in the early stages, the first 2 games, maybe,
Indeed. I mean, that's the thing with Indian Tigers as well. They have impressed, absolutely impressed. 2 back-to-back wins is nothing to scoff at. But at the same time, we do have some information coming in from the tournament director. It looks like a couple of teams have timed out. Unfortunately, we might have a restart coming in here, which is why we can see the teams aren't really committing to anything right now, just waiting it out. So this game, ladies and gentlemen, it's unfortunate, but will be restarted very, very quickly.
So, as you said, 2 teams falling out of the server, which means we will be cancelling this one. But in terms of what you're expecting to see, Blair, you gave your predictions. Did you really think Indian Tigers could do it for a 3rd time?
I don't think so. I think they can definitely, the way they're playing right now is great. I think they can consistently get up to at least, a top 5 placement at the very least. But at the same time, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to call it a fluke, but the thing is, Sandhog is such a different map altogether, such a different beast altogether. And that playstyle they had over there, they weren't too hyper-aggressive. They moved as a unit, they were using the circle perfectly, they were using their high ground advantages many of the times. On a map like Sandhog, which can be very chaotic and teams just might fly out of nowhere, that could be something which might not really work with their style of play.
Yeah, speaking of style of play, mentioned before in the prelude, before the game actually started, the difference in style of play between the maps that Indian Tigers were going for, from the center towards the edge, trying to play for kills and traverse along the terrain, and try and pick off teams that way, stay alive towards the end, collect those placement points, get those kill points, and stay in the lead, even though it's not by much. Them, Team Seoul, 5-10 points between them, if that. However, a giant leap between 2nd and 3rd, which is really the biggest talking point here so far.
Yeah, for Team Seoul, this entire story about, I would say, a tale of redemption for them, because they were so very close to getting knocked out during the semis. They managed to win a couple of games back-to-back, ensuring that they would be playing today on LAN. They did manage to get to the 4th position. So for them, the way they're playing right now, they're playing like champs. They're playing like they have a mission in mind.
Mission in mind. But yeah, so far Indian Tigers, obviously as you said, playing amazing. They're the 4th in the group stages, 9th in the semi-final. Improving overall. Maybe, I think another point as well to mention here, Blair, is the fact that the teams have had 2 or 3 weeks to scrim heavily. I said before with Cartoons, he mentioned the pressure and prestige on this event. He also said practice has been different this time round. More teams are scrimming for longer. They're taking this event so seriously And maybe that's where we start to see a massive difference between the 3 weeks, where they've had the time to go back to the drawing board, recalibrate their strategies, recalibrate themselves, and come up with new strategies, new tactics to catch the teams off guard.
Indeed, but scrimming is a very different thing altogether from actually putting it into practice as well, right? Like, for example, when you're scrimming a team, let's say, for example, instead of going to be scrimming against the rest of the guys that are going to be playing over here, are you really going to be showing all your cards? Are you really going to be landing in the same place that you're going to be landing in the tournament? You're going to mix things up. You're going to play a game of misinformation as well. At least that's what we've seen other esports titles as well. Scrimming is not a guarantee that your performance in your scrim sessions is going to translate directly to a great performance on LAN or in the final event, right? So I wouldn't read too much into that. It's good that they're practicing, that you have something in mind. But if you're an underdog, you need to have some little tips up your sleeves. You need to be a little, you know, if you're not a raw fragging team like, you know, a Team Soul or Indian Tigers, you need to have something else. You need to have good positioning. You need to outplay your opponent. Sometimes you can win this game, but just by being extremely passive and just by striking at the right moment, right? So the different ways to approach this, scrimming is great, but it's not everything.
But it can be an issue in scrims where, as you say, you don't give away your full hand, but you get used to certain habits, certain adjustments, and it can become a major part of your playstyle, even though it wasn't in mind. Orb on your screens here. One of the teams we haven't really spoken about too much here so far today. They've been playing quite passively, quite conservatively.
Yeah, like if you look at game one, Orb had probably the best position when it comes to respect to the circle, and they were just not able to take advantage of it. They just got completely mowed down. I think they had like maybe 1 or 2 kills. So they've been lucky with the circles and the positioning and whatnot, but sometimes, what I've noticed in the past 2 games is Fortune is definitely favoring the Brave, and they have not really been brave so far.
No, it's a great point to mention. Orb having the ring advantage in the first one, I'm not able to capitalize off of that. However, Tigers, the ring went directly in the center of their compound of Vikendi, then again and again and again and again, but each time they took full weight out of that and they managed to close out the second victory as well. So a difference between taking that advantage and running with it.
Absolutely, and that's what we love to see from some of these other teams. Like, it's just unfortunate that so many of these teams have been so very quiet apart from the usual suspects, right? We have Entity Gaming. Kudos to these guys. They came, I think, almost last, 15th or 16th in the game 1, but in game 2, they really managed to up their game, got a number of points under their belt. Still far away from Indian Tigers and Team Soul, but pretty decent showing from them. But the rest of the teams, they have been very, very lacking. It just seems like a battle between maybe 5 or 6 teams. And I would like to see some of these other guys like Pain Retribution, like 8-Bit, like Evil Big Fellas. I want to see these guys really step it up and make things a little bit interesting. Try and emulate what Indian Tigers have been doing so far.
It's true. 8-Bit, mentioned that name. Let's talk about them just briefly. I think it was John that mentioned they were the dark horse for him in this event, finishing 13th in the semi-finals. However, on the ESL Open ladder right now, they are number 1. They've had great results in prior events. Is this a situation of relaxing, switching off, where you win past event, or not win past events, excuse me, but be first on the ladder in another event, you're doing extremely well on LAN in previous events, you switch off a little bit, you take your foot off the gas, and then it starts to slip.
This is not today. Is not the day you put your foot off the gas. Today is when everything is on the line. You go in.
I mean, in terms of practice and preparation.
I don't think they would be. I don't think any of these teams would be really slacking off in preparation because let's be honest, right? Like, most of these guys are the underdogs, and even the top dogs. 1 slot, by the way. Even though 3 teams have a chance of making it to Berlin, we're going to have a guaranteed 1 slot because the 2nd and 3rd place teams will have to go to the prelims and play against the rest of the world. Everyone else having their regional qualifiers. They're going to be teams from China. There's going to be teams from EU, from all over the world, and from there it's another hard battle because you're going to be facing off against teams that you've barely or ever played against ever in the past, right? So this is your best opportunity to book that ticket to Berlin. So first place is everything right now.
Speaking of the tournament holistically, India, mentioned at the start, before the show even started, 11,000 teams signed up for this event. In total, globally, I believe it was 30 to 35,000 teams showed up across the world. So it shows India having 1/3 of the population essentially signing up for the tournament and going to show that maybe some of the best talent, the best teams should be located here. And if you are going to the prelims from the other regions, you're definitely looking at this tournament to think, okay, who are the teams I'm going to be scared to face?
Absolutely. Like, almost above 30%. About 30% of the players, of the teams who signed up are from India, and that itself is a big statement that, you know, this game is huge indeed. And you can hear the music in the background, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to go live again with the game. We do have all the players in. The plane has left the hangar, and we should be having some players dropping in onto Sandhawk.
We should indeed. Before we saw the plane going from north to south, towards the east side of the map, basically stopping some teams going towards the southwestern side. It's going to be interesting to see the shift here and which teams it favours, and also how the rotations differ. Will the pacing be as fast as it was last time, or will it begin to slow down?
Tigers, I'm expecting at least Tigers and Seoul to be pretty predictable, so to speak. I know Tigers really do like going up north, while Seoul, I like the way they play. They play like they are the favorites. They just go jumping straight in the middle of the map. They're like, if you want to fight us, we're ready and waiting.
Kind of the Virtus Pro.
Old Virtus Pro, kind of an old Virtus Pro. But there we go. The trajectory a little bit different from what we saw earlier.
Quite similar actually. From north to south towards the eastern side.
Ah, yes. You are
there
right.
you go. Players in cabin 64. We have everyone in the server, and we're ready now to go live with Game 3 on Sandhook. Let's see. Would it be Tigers taking it for a third time?
Well, that remains to be seen here. We do see the players dropping out early on. Of course, it's going to take a little bit of a while for them to find where they're going to be going towards. We do see, I do believe it's Tigers, again, going towards Cow. They do like that place to loot up from to start things off from. And that's something that they've been telegraphing all this while.
Something interesting as well, speaking to the players, speaking around to the experts, is the meta on some of the teams has already formed, as in where they land, where they place themselves on most of the most popular maps. And so far we've seen Tigers constantly going towards the north. Let's see if...
the Kaiju skin, gotta love it.
Yeah, it's amazing. I was trying to work out which one it was. Prince from Tigers. But yeah, north right now towards Kao, as you said. No one towards the northeastern side, towards Camp Bravo, towards Mongnai.
A little surprising
as well. It's strange. What do you reckon that's for?
I'm not too sure. It could be because it is in the extremity of the map. You want to kind of, I wouldn't say centralize yourself, so to speak. It is a very small map. Rotations can be very quick. So if you find yourself in a decent position, you don't want to like push all the way to the extremity, right? And the fact is, if you go play the edge of the maps, that's going to mean long rotate times if the circle does not favor you. And especially in a map like Sandhawk, where there could be someone waiting just around the corner, that's just increasing the chances of having to deal with a lot of fights, which you don't want to do. Speaking of which, speaking of fights, the team who's been winning the most fights, Team Seoul, running around, scooping up the loot.
Both players as well, just on your screen there, Wace and Ranak, MVPs for both the games so far. Mortal getting them shots off. That's one of the players from Rip Official. Manages to get away scot-free, but let's telegraph exactly where he is. Paratosh running away for his life.
Lovely movement coming from Mortal. He is hunting the man down. Third personing, he knows exactly where the player is, and he is definitely on the hunt. He's going to take a little bit of time just picking up a little bit of ammo there. He's got an AK and the M4 as well, and we can see Paratosh. He's running.
Don't blame him. 31 kills between a lot of the players from Seoul. Most of the teams are going to be fearing them coming into the later stages of today.
I just love the fact that Paratosh just ran away, just ran for the hills, and Mortal just happily looting out in the open. Just goes to show the difference in mentality. Like, they know, like, when you have a mentality that, okay, we're going to take a fight with Seoul, we're probably going to lose it, and they run away. That's such a difference in the way to approaching the game.
Something interesting as well is 8-Bit currently towards the northwestern side of the map. And split up into 2 and 2. Ash and Rise are together. Matt with the fourth player as well from 8-Bit, just going to be going and splitting up between Haiting.
Which is fair enough. Like, if you're playing in
loot,
pairs,
I imagine,
for loot, if you're playing in pairs as well, and of course the fact that if you have a pretty good understanding of the rest of the teams are, that's going to allow you a lot of room to decide where you want to rotate over instead of just running in blind. So I like the fact that taking in map control bit by bit.
Team IND on your screens currently. In the group stages, had the most kills out of any team. Aggressive team, highly skilled, and maybe on Sandhook, that's exactly what they need to put to use. Bishma from Hydra, considered one of the best snipers in the game globally. We saw him with some precise aiming on Vikendi.
Which is pretty cool because Bishma is a mythological character in Hinduism, where he is a really famous legendary warrior.
See, that's why you're paid the big bucks.
Thanks, man. I get paid for this small little tidbits of information. But there we go. Hydra have been comparatively kind of quiet, one might say, considering how consistent they've been throughout all the group stages and the semis.
Yeah, it seems like each team has its own vicinity of the map covered. They're just looting out, leaving no stone left unturned. Checking to make sure they've got all the med kits, all the supplies they need into the later stages of this map. As with Sandhook, as soon as the ring starts to close in, the action really picks up much faster than on other maps.
Indeed, and that's what we're going to be seeing. But that being said, we did see... What is going on here, Team Evil? All right. They've been very quiet, haven't they?
They have. For big fellas, they've been quite quiet.
I think I kind of jinxed them. I called them like my underdog favorites. I like the
Was
name.
that just the name?
Just the name, evil big fellas, and I look at them and they look so sweet and so nice. I'm like, you don't look evil or big, fellas. But yeah, right now, no casualties yet, which is a little surprising, I won't lie, but you can see the way the teams are. Everyone's condensed, but I say that, and it's going to be Ronak opening things up, rattling off shots. Can Ryder survive this?
It's looking close here. 75 HP as he is bleeding out. Ash trying his hardest to crawl up, get the revive, but not getting sights of Ranak. Oh, and down he goes. Rises out for the count. Soul with the first kill already.
First blood being drawn by his team Soul. Are you even surprised at this point, to be honest?
Still searching. He knows that once he's found one, the rest should be close by. And Soul might be able to cut them off the ring as well, because as it shrinks, they're further towards the north. Oh, excuse me.
That's kind of a risky play. I'm not sure if he meant
really
for that.
exposing himself because he's pulling back now towards the rest of his team. I guess because they no longer have the pairs, they have to go. He has to go back to the rest of his team. Makes sense.
Which is fair enough as well, because it's still early game. No one's really going to be looking towards the water. No one's going to be expecting someone swimming out there in the open right now. And we do see Orb. We've been speaking about how lucky they've been with the circle placement so far.
And Neo in himself being one of the best players statistically in this event. So high hopes for him, but also lots of pressure on him to deliver.
Can he channel Mr. Keanu Reeves is the question here. As he is, he's looted it pretty decently. Not the best of weaponry, but pretty good. And I think he spots something out. But that is his teammate across the grass over there. And Orb, they have been struggling quite a bit. They don't have anyone in the vicinity. And look at that.
And a level 3 military vest as well. The ammo from it too.
Oh, that
level 3 helmet and a level 3 backpack. My goodness, that is the lottery.
I want that.
I want that too.
Oh,
and it's going to go to Soul.
The Arctic.
And a level 3 backpack. My goodness, that is the lottery.
I want that.
I want that too.
And
it's going to go to Soul.
The Arctic Warfare Magnum, a classic video game sniper rifle. Most people, and there we go, Aways with the big green gun early on, and things are looking good indeed for Soul. They have, bear in mind, they've drawn first blood. They already have another kill under their belt.
Towards the south is learned from pass. So we might see a and Team Iron.
Where the 7th circle is going to be Daku. All the map is, bear in mind.
Patiently here for their prey to slowly walk into their trap.
Still waiting for the circle to really show where the rest of the action is going to play on out. But I do agree with you on the fact, Alex, look at the Eastern map. It's bereft of anyone, of any presence whatsoever. And it's almost like everyone's kind of, you know, clustered around a central area of the map, so to speak. And things can get, look at this. There's no one on the east-hand side. So the circle could mess things up.
Or the Northwestern as well. 8-bit and Brawlers may have just cleared out all the loot towards that vicinity of the map, and now they're starting to work their way in towards the center. Try and get those early, strong positions. Take them over, have them for once the ring does begin to shrink, because which part of the maps do you really believe are most important right now, Blair?
Right now, obviously, it's all about, I would personally say, if you played the periphery of the circle, you're going to have a pretty good chance in this particular map, because when you're playing centralized, you might have the best spot, but you're going to get shot at from every direction possible. And even if your team's sold, that's not going to be easy at all, right? What I want to just point out is, I know you guys can't see it right now, but Insidious are on a trajectory with Tigers, because Tigers are moving down south very, very quietly here. And at any point in time, there could be a conflict between Tigers and Insidious. Who's going to come out on top? Tigers have been winning this time and time again the past 2 games. This time around, I don't know. It's looking really, really dangerous here for both the teams.
It really depends on the next ring as well. If it goes towards the northern side, then that would mean Insidious have to rotate in towards Tigers, or vice versa. If it goes towards the southern side, Tigers rotate in towards Insidious. And it just depends which team gets the advantage, and the ring has been placed. towards the southern western side of the map. Thankfully for most of these teams, they're all inside. Yeah, all
Everyone's in
inside.
a circle. That is such a rare thing to see, to be very honest here. And they're very lucky. There's no one on the eastern side, so they don't really have to rotate. In fact, no one really has to move here. Even Tigers, they managed to make their way inside a circle. So this is looking very good for everyone, pretty much.
Yeah, now it kind of means that the positions of most value would be Ruins, Paynan, Boot Camp as well, being towards the center of that ring. But right now in the center of the crosshair, Frost from Brawlers, spots other players from Orb, but no one going down just yet.
Frost, definitely the MVP for Brawlers in that game one, single-handedly ensuring that his team managed to get a top 3 position. And he spots out a player. He's looking for the fight here. I don't see any of his teammates around it quite behind him. And Orb, they've been having a rough time indeed. They need to start taking these fights. I think a player actually has been knocked down. No, he's not. He's just healing himself up. But the fact that they're pinned down is a problem because Brawlers, they're going to be going in for the kill here.
They should do. Seems like they're going to be playing a bit more passive now, though. Just going to be playing towards the edge of the river, southern of Camp Alpha. But it's the Ruin that really is the most important part and the linchpin of the map right now, based off of the circle. Hydra slowly
risky play there, swimming across out
coming
in the
over
open.
the river, but it obviously exposes them. But they are going to be completely fine for now.
Yeah, they've crossed the river and they're going to be in the South Island. The interesting thing is, I know you guys can't see it yet. It should crop up on the minimap very soon. Godlike are in such a good position. They are completely isolated from everyone. They've had all the time in the world to loot Sami, and now they're in Nakam, and they're just like looting everything up.
Yeah, here we go. This could be the start of the action here. Hydra rotating in towards Daku. Above them, Evil big fellas as well. Close vicinity towards Camp Charlie and the Quarry. But so far, Blair, which team's impressed you? Which team has the most advantage? Which team do you think going forward has the advantage to maybe close this one out? You mentioned prior, Godlike having the best position.
Yeah.
Do they have the best chance?
I mean, if they play the cards right, they should, right? I mean, they don't even need to take the fights because by the time the circle shrinks in, most of these teams are already going to be taking damage. And speaking of which, 2 quick knockouts coming out here. RIP doing a lot of damage into Mega, and Brawler's been knocked out by Ronak. Was it with the AWM? I'm not too sure.
IBXN so close towards Sky. Tempest and the long goes for the damage. Legends down, the spam, the spray, it all comes through. Suddenly, though, he's knocked as well. Tigers takes him down.
That's the thing. You take a shot, absolutely go for it, but that's opening yourself up. In the meantime, Mega's Bixen has been taken out. Tigers, though, everyone's still very much in play. Ted, in the meantime, finding Frost. He's been knocked on twice already, if I'm not mistaken. Has he been taken out of the equation here?
Ooh, carry from Tigers, long range here. Oh, actually lands a few of the shots as well as his teammate doing damage. Sky goes down, Siam as well, rattling off shots there towards the rocks. Rip official, not looking too strong here prior to what they were doing earlier in the 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of living up to the name right now. They are getting ripped, and they just get ripped apart. Like, rest in pieces right there. I think they have lost 1 player. 2 of them are pretty low. They're bleeding out, in fact. So I do believe Peritosh needs to res his teammates, and Cyan has got a scope trained on them. It's ensuring they don't have any freedom of movement. But now, this is what we've been waiting for here, Alex. The circle is shrinking, and the action is heating up.
Usually it's phase 5 where the action is at its best. However, on a map like Sandhook, it's really phase 4 and the end of phase 3. So we're starting to kick it off now, and it's actually going to be centered towards Ruin, Bootcamp, and Quarry, and Painan. So again, those 3 initial positions, compounds, places on the map being so pivotal. And right now it's in control of Learn From Past, Team IND, and Orb. They have the advantage.
Yeah, Rip trying to make their way towards boot camp. They are on their heels, are the Tigers. They are stalking them. And look at this. I did mention how Godlike had such a very good positioning. And even here, even though they have to move into the circle, there's no one in the vicinity. They're going to have a very comfortable time. Unfortunately, there's no like compound, so to speak, like a big place. But there are a cluster of houses. They should be pretty fine over there.
Wow, look at Orb as well. They had full control towards Ruin, but Orb are actually rotating towards the east.
And in the meantime, 8-Bit and Brawlers. There's going to be a conflict coming in real quickly here as 8-Bit looking to... Are they going to cross the bridge is the question. As bullets being raffled off. Insidious getting spotted out by Entity Gaming. Oh, bullets. Deja Vu just rattling off a number of bullets. And he has dealt quite a bit of damage here.
UMP 2x scope, trying his hardest to take down Cartoon, but it seems like he's still taking his own damage. Using his first aid kit here to heal himself up, he is going to be fine and dandy. But Insidious, they look shaky here on land.
Yeah, they have been very surprised, considering how consistent they were. Meanwhile, Ronak, he's going to continue his reign of terror. We can take a look very quickly at the real-time survival right now. Insidious and 8-bit, have lost a player apiece. Megastars are down to just 2 players as well. Brawlers, that's the thing, they're 1 player down, and that's going to be something worrying for them.
Ronak from Seoul spots out 2 of the players there in the wooden compound.
They're just terrifying, aren't you?
Learn from past. Bricking it right now, put in a PG-13 phrase.
Yeah, I mean, I would as well.
Not really the best one there. M249 would be worth the swim. I'll leave that one alone.
No one's really going to be going for that. Definitely not worth it. And to be very honest, and let's be honest, in a map like Sandhawk, the UMP, that's really going to be handy, right? You just want for this close quarter battles to take place. And Ronak, Nate primed and ready.
Look at this take coming out from Seoul. Oasis close, more to the flank as well as they make their way in towards Encore. Snacks falling back as well. They know right now they're under pursuit from the current favourites. So look at this from Mortal. Finds Paradox, gets swag as well, and is finding more. Snacks just leaves his teammates alone and goes, you guys are dead. I'm playing for the placement points. Goodbye.
Well, I can literally taste the bloodlust from Seoul. They take no prisoners. They're just going in for the hunt. And just like that, LFP, 1 player remaining alive. Snacks is going to head for the hills.
It was so clean as well. They surrounded the compound from east, west, and they charged in systematically together. And Snacks, as well as having his own struggles there, I believe, of Team IND. So this isn't looking good here for a few of these players, but look at the space. The circle as it goes even more centered.
Oh, Lord, Snacks is going to spray down Kratos. The God of War is now on his knees, and Snacks, the lone surviving member of his team, he's so much on his shoulders right now.
Just to speak about the positioning of the ring while we have time, I know it's going to get very hectic very quickly. Oh, actually, Sam and Paratosh from Tigers coming down to the blue zone.
This is looking really rough indeed. They are taking so much damage, but in the meantime, I just want to concentrate on this fight. Daku, who's been looking very rough. Oh no!
3 players down from Tigers. Because of the zone, this is so strange. But Prince is still alive, takes down Sky. Legend is low as well.
He needs to res his teammates here.
Yeah, he has to, otherwise this might not be the hat trick.
This might not be the hat trick, and that's a problem. You play too passively, the blue zone, that's the final enemy. That's the one thing you got to keep an eye on, and that's the first thing you learn when you're playing PUBG. When you're playing any battle royale shooter, is it's not the enemy, it's not the other players who are your main danger. It's a circle.
Danger right now though for evil Big Fellas. Big Fellas is paying towards the north.
Snacks is being sneaky beaky like. He's doing a very good job staying alive here.
Team IND, Daku, meters apart from each other. It's a standstill here between the compounds. Both teams know the importance of the placement points, especially as there's still 16 teams alive. Nobody wants to go out with 0 placement points.
The difference here between the way Daku and Team IND were playing, there with Daku, everyone's spread thin, so the trade potential is very low, the res potential is very low, but if you look at IND, everyone's together. The Vector at that range...
Yeah, worst weapon possible almost. It's not looking too good, but Smokey is scared to go for the face. Cartoons, though,
He's got the angle.
by him.
He's got the angle.
The toes. It's only 13 damage. Just to land a few of those shots if he wants to down him. The shoulders showing.
How is
so
he even
close.
alive?
I have no idea, but the silence is quite good here for the Vector. Doesn't give away his position. You can see they're so confused as to where he is. Smokey. He gets the first aid kit off, heals up, charges behind. He's seen again for another day.
That's very impressive. And speaking of the circle, by the way, Team Tigers, I think they're just down to 2 players. That's got to be gutting for them. They would be looking for the hat trick, of course, but then again, 2 players alive is still better than having no players alive. Bear in mind, ladies and gentlemen, with the circle shrinking down, and considering the map is signed up, I'm shocked that we have all the teams still in the running here.
Look at how spread out Insidious is between Malik and the rest of the team.
Oh.
Hydra now, going to be pushing in towards godlike Ninja. Abby, Sidhu as well, going to be up close, but it's Hydra. It's Godkill, excuse me, that goes down initially.
Godlike finally waking up.
Yeah, not dead just yet.
The AWM sing the song of death once more. Another player knocked out. And, I mean, Solar being just such a pain in the backside for all these teams right now.
Shimmer as well from Hydra finding one. As Godlike are surrounded. Behind them is 8-Bit. In front of them is Hydra. So how do they try and traverse the terrain here? They've got to pick up Aladdin as well. Try and get them back on the magic carpet.
Back on the magic carpet, and maybe even call out for a genie, because they're going to need all
the wishes they can.
All the wishes they can, indeed, Alex. And Spike, he sees a smoke, and he knows there's someone there. He knows there's someone just floating around. And it's, of course, Team Insidious, who would be looking to at least get a good lead here. But meanwhile, Mortal knocks out another player. nades being sailing in from Godlike. Unfortunately, it's not going to find their mark. All of that nade's actually going to go pretty deep there.
Phase 5 on Sandhawk, and still 16 teams surviving here, Blair. This is so uncharacteristic.
That is very rare.
Oh, cartoons. This might not end very well for him, but he's going to go for the all-out play. Grenade goes in, and now he comes charging into the compound against Evil.
Look at his health.
He has the Vector, 1 versus 4 essentially, but surely they're going to hear the footsteps here up close.
Nerves, man. When you have those nerves going, sometimes you don't hear the footsteps. And I think Sharko, no, he's just going to shut the door.
Yeah.
They could have got a free kill there, but that's going to allow
He's going to go down anyway. Not sure if that was the zone or his own grenade.
No, I don't think it was the zone, but I think he just got hit by a stray bullet, perhaps. But Insidious, man, I mean, they're in a rough spot. And look at the circle now. It's on Soul again. They're in such a good spot right now.
Mazik able to crawl behind the rock. Has 1 painkiller. Not going to be using it just yet. Going to wait for his health just to heal up slowly over time. But look at the map there towards the southern side of Painan. All the teams towards the north. Tigers, Megastars, Brawlers, Rip Official, the only player there, legend alive. Towards the east, Insidious. Evil big fellas as well. They have to come in towards the circle. As you said, Soul have such a good position here.
Brawlers are fighting the circle. They have still 3 players alive, but the circle is at their heels, and they need to make haste, because that circle's going to start dealing a serious amount of damage right now. And here we go. Mega. Leo picking up a frag. We have Spike as well. So trades going back and forth right now, but at the moment, everyone's just trying to run for the circle, because time is not their friend. You can see the circle shrinking real quickly here.
Spike with the UMP, spots out Smokey from Insidious, able to get behind the cover though. Mazik is down, so I'm not sure if he's just hiding behind.
I think he's just snaking here.
Yep. Yeah, he's still alive for now. But look at the zone coming in. They may actually die if they don't start getting on their tiptoes and running.
Yeah, and it's just about small little decision making, right? Do we run right now? Do I want to die to the zone? Oh, Leo. He is crawling around trying to stay alive desperately. Look at Brawlers, by the way. So many players dying to the zone. This is so surprising. Viper takes on Leo, and a Playzone's found a player from Mega as well. This is just insanity. And then the Op sings out loud, the headshot from Ronak. And Soul, they are just looking indomitable at the moment.
13 teams remaining, 38 players alive. Godlike Ninja takes another one. Prince takes down Ronak from Soul, so maybe this is where things start to get a bit dicey.
Team Megastar getting eliminated. Playzone finds Dark from Brawlers as well. Oh no, he was so far away from the circle, and we have such a few number of teams remaining. Considering we had all 16 teams a few seconds back, we're down to just 11 teams here.
11 teams indeed. The ring, where it lands, is so crucial here for both of these teams. Oh my goodness, up close is the spray! It is going to win it! Spike goes down. Mazik as well from Insidious.
Oh, it's bleeding out as well, but he's got his teammates nearby, so he's good.
It should be good. Let's see how they try and traverse this one. It's so difficult here for Evil big fellas. They're right up against it. Mortal, though, from Soul, spots out Entity Gaming from across the terrain, up north towards the rocks. Existence has the high ground, but Mortal is the Obi-Wan.
Yeah, it's pretty much the Obi-Wan here, and high ground's not always the right thing, as we have learned from our Jedi Masters. But you have Mortal healing up, taking a few painkillers here. He is going to be readying up for the final fight here. We are approaching the end game here in map number 3. Circle, get to shrink in. They have 15 seconds remaining, and that's Soul. They need to make a move here, because they are definitely not in the circle.
Team IND being spotted out here by Orb. Daku as well, just behind them. We mentioned before how close those teams were together. Now as the ring shrinks, it's going to be even more difficult, as it's going to be positioned towards the compound just south of Painan.
Oh no, IND, the spray down, finds 2 of them. He knows where the third one is. He's not going to waste any time, he's going to knock him on out. Not giving him a chance to go for the res. The spray hits his mark. He knows where the third player is, trying to hunt him down. Deljiski, oh, it's going to be Neo. He's going to just leave his teammates. They have been forsaken, and he's running for the hills here. Can you really blame him though?
Now Soul are making their way into the action. Orb King just going to be reviving his teammate here. 10 seconds is how long it's going to take. But Soul have made their way in. Team IND are going to be slaughtered there inside the compound. Trance is still in here above, up the stairs, so maybe he's going to be found out shortly. Sharko now with the long-range angle, actually going to be going down there towards Evil big fellas.
Deja Vu winning the duel as well, and now Orb, they've been very quiet throughout this entire tournament so far, at least in the first 2 games. Finally, they still have quite a number of players left, so that's great. Meantime, NDD Gaming takes out Sharko. They're going to win that particular duel, but then look at Ronak. This man has just been the god of death. Ronak.
More kills. Trance down as well from Team IND. King finds Scout IND. There might be IND eliminated very, very shortly. I believe they've got one more player alive.
ETG have no idea. They have no idea where the two players from Evil are. And Evil Retribution, are they gonna get the drop on them is the question. But no, Magazine I think is very much aware that there is a flank coming in from behind. In the meantime, we're back to Team Soul again, who are sitting on 9 kills again, Alex. I mean, there are 40 kills in 3 games. That is ridiculous.
Awaits now with the scope on the AK, spreading out the players in towards the terrain. They have the compound, and it's inside the circle here, Blair. Viper, going to see if he can bite down onto a few of the players there. Magazine in existence from Eternity towards the hill. Legend on his own, just behind the tree, staying alive, just hiding for now, trying his hardest to not be seen and get those placement points. But it's Ronak with the AWM, sniping players off left and right.
The sound of death ringing out loud and clear as a player knocked on down. And Team Soul, my lord, they have impressed me. I did say that they're going to win this one. They're looking like they're going to win it pretty convincingly. But I said it too early on. A beautiful nade from Lancer takes on Sidhu. And things are actually looking pretty good for Daku. They were really struggling. One of the big underdogs here.
Another kill, another down, sorry, from Ronak.
Someone take the gun away from him, because this is unfair for the rest of the teams.
Rip official, still alive there. Oh, look at the play coming in from Orb. King trying his hardest to sneak in from behind onto Soul, but they were ready for it. Awaits takes him down. King is dead.
The King is dead. Long live the King. That is Team Soul right now. All 4 players alive. 11 kills on their belt. This is just sheer utter domination, a vulgar display of power coming out from Team Soul. And they're looking to close this one out. Because, by the way, I don't think Team Tiger's even in the run for it, are they?
Lancer spots on Ninja in the open. Godlike goes down. Aladdin's though at the window, trying his hardest here, but he's going to be swarmed by 2 of the players from Daku. As he comes in from the rear, the spray gets one! Oh my goodness, he gets 2 of them down, but they can still survive.
That's a god-tier play from Aladdin. He stays alive by the skin of his teeth. And Daku, Lancer, and Rahil, they're going to get taken down here. And it is going to be Avi making his way towards Aladdin as well.
There you have it, 2 kills there for Aladdin. Comes in from the rear, they're expecting him to peek towards the window. Charges in, and as you said, the footsteps on Lamb, the noise, the atmosphere, the pressure, they're not quite playing as they would online, and it shows.
Can I just point out, 7 teams left alive, but 13 players in total. That means, and Soul has 4 players. That means almost every of the other teams, all the other teams have maybe 1 or 2 players, and it's going to be Mortal again, getting another knockdown.
Making it look so easy. Magazine, though, still alive from Eternity Gaming. He's going to be leaving his teammate alone, maybe playing for the placement points here and trying his hardest to get the additional points.
Ted from 8-Bit is still in the blue.
Mortal from the side, who is that? It's Rip Legend! It's Rip Official Legend. He stayed alive in his lonesome for so long, and right now it's paying off. Mortal, the mogul of Indian PUBG Mobile, is down.
That being said, 3 of them are still very much in the running, and they still have more players in that squad than anyone else right now. So Team Soul looking to solidify their position on top of the leaderboards here as the circle is shrinking down, probably to the final circle here, I do believe it is going to be, with 5 teams and 10 players in total left in the running.
But the rings landed on top of Soul. This couldn't really get any better for the favorites. Towards the south of the ring, Godlike have to rotate in towards Orb, Orb have to rotate in towards Entity Gaming, and right now it's happening. Attack from Orb, spots out a few of the players here from Godlike. Behind the compound, but Neo comes charging in, the spray's perfect, gets 1. Aladdin, though, should be going for the trade here, Blair.
Should have, but right now, I guess
he gets it.
He knocks it down, doesn't get the kill, though. And Aladdin doing his very best to stay alive, keep his team in the running. He's the last surviving member. Him against the wall. Meanwhile, Team Soul, 3 players alive. Viper, internally bleeding. He needs to heal up real quickly as the circle is going to be shrinking in here.
Let's see then. Godlike still have Aladdin. And Aladdin was Godlike earlier on with the 2K.
The Kobe.
Oh, the HE grenade shuts it in, but the attack could go down anyway from the bullet. Oh! First it was the AWM, now it's the HEs as well. He's working with everything he's been given.
Ronak has been an absolute god of war here. Another nade being tossed in this time around by Aladdin. Unfortunately, there's no one nearby, and it is going to be the last player, I do believe. Kratos, the god of war, is out for the count, and his team has been knocked out. 3 teams remaining here, 6 alive. Of those 6 players, 3 of them are from Team Soul.
Half the players remaining, all on the side of Soul. 1 remaining though for Godlike, it's Aladdin. Eternity Gaming of Deja Vu is pushing from the flank, but in the circle, down goes Aladdin. It's going to be a 2 versus 3 here, but Soul have the compound.
They have the compound. The thing is though, ETG, Entity Gaming can play the circle. They can play towards the broken walls as well. And you can see the team chanting here. They want Seoul to finally win their first game. Bear in mind, they came in second back-to-back in the first 2 games. And now it's going to be the battle for the crown. Who's going to win this game? Deja Vu left alive. And for Seoul, though, 3 players. It is Ronick, it is Viper, and Oasis. And Ronick has just been unstoppable so far.
And the players want to take the risk early on. They know how much is on the line. The difference between first and second is 8 placement points here. So running around, trying to see if they can get the third peripheral vision view of the area. Try to spot out a toe, a gun, or anything. As Deja Vu gives his location away, but the Molotov may draw him out.
I love what he's doing, though. He's trying to play distraction for his teammate to come in and push in and get a frag. And it's Deja Vu who's getting hunted down. He's very low. The hunt is on. They're going to mow him down. And that's going to be it. Team Seoul are going to take map number 3. And what a performance. Once again, I think, what, 14, 15 kills?
Amazing. The Molotov to draw out the peak as well from the right side. It works so perfectly. Look at the grins on their faces. They know how well they just played.
That was just a masterclass performance coming out from Team Seoul. And I mean, it was about time, right? The first 2 games was so very close. And then game number 3, they finally make it happen. They're right now top of the leaderboards.
And you can hear the crowd as well, how excited they are to see Team Seoul finally come through big when it mattered. They were in second place going into this match, and hands down going into first place position with that first place finish.